In the face of adversity, a small group of survivors band together to confront a growing rot that threatens to consume their world. Saya Lucian, Bernard Witchkicked, Spear Silvermore, and August Barrow rally beneath the banner of the 3rd Daggerford irregulars to hold fast against the coming storm. They first encountered this evil lurking in an isolated village called Ellsdale in the foothills of Mount Hutno, where its origin was traced to a shadowy inner circle of local elders who worshipped the demon queen of fungus, Zog-Tomoy. Through swift, decisive action, our party made all haste to successfully find and destroy the conspirators, but as relative peace returns to Ellsdale, our heroes are left with more questions than answers. How far afield does the corruption spread? What is the purpose of this ancient and arcane object they call the Platinum Mask? And where is the sinister figure behind it all? A man shrouded in mystery, wielding untold power. The man known only as Straken. Welcome to the first episode of the second story arc in Tabletop Dynasties' ongoing 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons campaign, The 7 Masks of Mayhem. For full details on past events, check out our previous arc, The Platinum Mask. But otherwise, sit back, relax, and join us as we commence Arc 2, The Siege of Mirabar.
So, after emerging from the deep underground lair of the abyssal spawn, you find the town being overrun by various undead agents. And key members among those undead agents, particularly Mr. Avarice, Mr. Wild, Mrs. Starn, and Mrs. Numa, are all missing from the scene. Further investigation leads you to 2 sets of tracks that you find leading out of town. One to the east, one to the west. Nariko decides to go and follow the ones heading to the west, whereas you decide that you cannot let this evil stand and escape this place, and so you pursue a form to the west. After about a day of trudging through the snow, for which you are one of the best equipped, you manage to catch sight of a form clad in heavy furs and carrying a backpack and a large hood, moving through the deep, overgrown woods. As you stalk up on them after having only had a short rest post the encounters, what do you do?
I appreciate their evil, but I just can't bring myself to attack. Some poor unsuspecting used to be human mind fungus resurrection.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll prepare myself with my little stick out ready, get Buddy back a little bit and call for them to halt.
They glance over their shoulder. You are presenting yourself, I imagine.
Yes.
And it seems like they pick up their pace.
I will hustle towards them.
Okay.
So I'm sort of leaving a bit of distance between them, but I'll hustle around and cut them off.
Okay. As you maneuver to do so, they are pushing farther ahead. It takes you a little while, but eventually you're able to take advantage of the geography to just put yourself ahead of them. Mm-hmm. And are you endeavoring to surprise them? They don't seem to have seen you from your point of travel at the moment.
I'll do the thing where I step out in front of them when they're about 5 meters away and be like, halt!
Okay, they stop. Their sort of hands are clad on the backpack straps, and they're sort of staring you down.
Do I know who it is?
It is, in fact, Mrs. Numa, the seamstress.
She's out of her undies too.
Oh, now, like, I can't let you leave. Your plague can't spread from this place.
So, kill me then. Go on.
Look over at Buddy. Look back at her. I think about that village. Who's that little...
Looking at her now, she seems perfectly rational, lucid.
And full of contagious tubers.
Well, if you want to turn on your evil sight to see the evil seething in her body, the infection that is, then yeah, you do in fact see that she is this glow of black fungal entities.
We can do this two ways. I would prefer to allow you to pass quickly and without me bludgeoning you to death with a stick, and I've seen it happen before, and it's not good. It's fun. It takes longer than you think. Or we can find a way to just...
She, it's like, okay, but let me at least be respectable in my passing.
I'm going to regret this, but off you go.
Can we make an insight roll?
That's a 2 on the die.
Cool. Alright, she takes her bag down, takes her heavy cloak off. Beneath it, she's wearing quite simple traveling clothes, well equipped for their journey. And she sort of undoes her hair, falls out. Then she runs. Without the encumberment of the heavy jacket or the pack that she was carrying. And just starts sprinting in a direction. Give me a nature roll. Or survival, it's up to you.
It's a 10.
No,
11.
11, okay. You remember, you're not quite sure where she's going, but she's just trying to run. You know she'll freeze up eventually in this snow, but yeah. You give chase?
Yes.
Give me a roll, contested. Can be stamina.
Con or athletics?
Sorry, con.
Con? That's a 16.
You quickly catch up to her and you see that she is heading for a ravine.
Right.
There's no way across the ravine.
Is she within striking distance?
One more win on the roll, and yeah.
That's a 9.
Closer and closer, you sort of just this close. One more chance before she gets over the edge. She sort of looks behind her very quickly, but she just urges her on to get even faster, step after step, heading to the ravine.
That's a 19.
Well,
how are you
she
chasing her
trips.
Horse?
No, currently I'm just in human.
It's not foot. She trips on a wayward root and sort of stumbles to the ground, smashing her head on the side of a rock. She sort of stumbles to pick herself up as you bear down upon her.
No, I'm not going to turn into a bear, but I will hit him really hard with a stick.
Okay. And you just smack her in the back of the head, and again, until she is a puff of fungus.
I will cleanse her and the area of the fungus, and then attempt to reseed it with my own.
Definitely much easier to do that from up here than you go to the edge and look over and see the... It's looks like a natural or an unnatural fissure that might have opened up many hundreds of years ago due to some kind of cataclysmic or magical effect. But nonetheless, it is deep and dark, and sort of hear the scuttering of various critters that might still be alive down there or have made their homes there.
Right. Well, yeah. Once I've tidied up, I'll turn into the horse as one of the fastest. And
make your way back through the woods.
back.
By the time you
I'll take her stuff. So I don't want, in case she's got those vials, I don't want them like.
You look through the backpack. In the backpack itself, there are 20 vials.
Oh yeah, that's got to be dealt with.
Yeah. Of this stamina potion.
I will cast as a ritual cure disease and poison to see if it nullifies it.
You would have to do it on each one. They are that concentrated.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That'll take a little while, but I've been out here a day, and I prefer to do that, so I'll spend the next couple of hours knocking each one on the head.
Okay, cool. No worries. And you turn into the horse and thunder back to town, leaving the remnants there. You find nothing else in particular of interest on her. She's just trying to travel light, essentially, just looking to spread the disease as best as possible, I guess. By the time you arrive back, you come to what seems to be smoking remnants of the village. You see the group standing together in the town square. With them is a stranger, a man who introduces himself to you as Rosalind Kellick. Interesting-looking man of far-off lands, by the take of it. Make a intelligence check or wisdom check. Not sure, just reeks of far-off lands.
It's foreign.
And you all, as you come back to the group, you also
He was a half-elf, right?
He was a half-elf, that's correct. You also see Noriko emerging across the field from the other side. Noriko approaches you all and says, Gus, Saya, Bernard, Spear, it's good to see you. She sort of throws a bag with a couple of rotting heads in it, tumble out on the ground. I couldn't get them all. There was one set of tracks. It seemed like they were on a riding mount, or they found a mount somewhere in the forest. They headed deeper, into farther places.
Do you know which direction?
If I had any guess on it, it would be towards the source of the streams that then head to Neverwinter. What they're doing there, I'm not sure.
What heads do we know who's been killed?
Mr. Avarice, Mr. Wild,
And Mr.
the two
Wild.
merchants. So the only one left unaccounted for at this point is Mrs. Stone, Isadora Stone.
When I confronted my quarry, it made its way for a ravine, possibly headed to a water source. That could have been its ultimate goal. Spores are fairly resilient. They'll lay dormant for a long time. If you can get them in a water source, it might spread. It's only going to take one or two to actually infect the town.
And if they've got those bags full of potions, that's exactly the scenario we've got to stop.
Except they haven't been spreading. So far, what we know is they haven't been spreading through water because the animals haven't been congruent. My understanding, it's been affecting, for example, animals that haven't, it hasn't not all animals have been affected. It hasn't necessarily come from water stream. I thought we established. Am I
thought we
wrong?
established there was an environmental thing that accumulated into predators and
Yes.
was coming from the ground and eating the stuff.
Okay.
Is that?
We had the
It was
know.
coming through the
We
vegetation.
might be. Your recollection might be right.
Yes, it was affecting predators more than prey.
Yeah.
And so it couldn't be the water directly.
Well, the ambient effect of this fungus of the spores was causing all of the animals in the area to have growths inside of them. Predators were then consuming the prey animals and then consuming these growths that were inside of those animals, and that seemed to be accelerating the growth of, or the infection of
And
their
beyond
bodies.
tuber meat, we've got super concentrated vials of zombie potion being transported to the water source for Neverwinter.
That's concentrated enough that I tried to cleanse them, and I actually normally you can cleanse quite a large area, like I did at the dinner table.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it; it had to be one at a time.
Oh, that bodes poorly.
Sickness is so
We
magically
need,
concentrated.
we need to make maximum haste.
I agree.
Now, you and Spear,
Well,
you can turn into a horse. Keep in mind, we've got a transport option for some
as
of
this conversation is happening, Noriko quickly says, "Look, I cannot wait. It seems like you have important business that you need to do. You track down Aaron. I've got to go. I'll go by myself if I need to." And then Rosalind says, "It's all right. I'm familiar with the forests to the west of here. Very familiar. I grew up there, where I spent the last 8 months there. making it my home. If you need to go that way, I would ask that I travel with you. Alright goes, well, let's waste no time. Let's go now. Just grab what we need and let's head. And Rosalind goes, it was great to meet you. I look forward to seeing you again.
Thanks. You go.
We look forward to our paths crossing.
And so him and Orko make their way and make their preparations to leave.
I hold my fist up for a fist bump. You leave me hanging, or he's already off? Oh, you are.
No, he's like, leaves you hanging to the last second, and then it's like, mini pump.
Pump away.
But it's at this point, and you pretty much, like, forgotten that you even did it, but you start hearing hoofbeats.
Yes.
And you look up
That's right, we were
to
summoning
the sky,
That's right.
and you see the clouds shake with this kind of, like, orange lightning fire, and you hear these thunderous hoofbeats like the sound of thunder off in the distance, and you see slowly becoming visible from a state of invisibility this black mare with flaming mane and flaming eyes and flaming hooves start descending from the clouds towards this
Oh
town
crap, I
square.
didn't think it was going to work.
Get my stick out. Take it on like this isn't gonna end well.
No, Gus, it's alright. Just we did this.
I think that might
and
be
then
us.
I mean, don't start what you can't finish is all I'm saying.
Look, as much as I
Well, you
want.
should have said that a little while ago, because I
You're
got
late
this
for the party.
awesome book, and there's some stuff in it. Look, it's wizard stuff. I'm
We
doing it
decided we
now.
needed a way to travel very quickly.
Seeing that you summoned it, I think you should take this, and I pull out the mask and I give it to you.
I can't wear that now. I don't have. Yeah, all right.
Well,
no,
don't-
no, I'll
is
hold
there-
it. Leave it with the wizard.
All right.
Wait a second,
I'm
so
embracing this whole wizard thing.
We've got
I'm totally down.
flaming evil horse and evil wolf face mask thing. Like this is.
The mask.
What did you guys do while I was away? This took a
And the
turn.
platinum mask. The platinum mask was. You've seen the platinum mask.
I saw where it came from,
Mhm.
and then I left, and I come back, and now it's like combining with the evil
The
horse. Is
mask-
there something going
no,
on?
I think the mask is attached to the horse, but the mask isn't necessarily evil. Power doesn't mean evil. It's just different.
I'm pretty sure the horse
Yeah.
is evil,
Yeah.
but it's our evil horse.
Yeah.
Do you remember the unicorn?
It's truly
Look,
evil.
Paragon of good, and then you've got this like nature has like natural opposites.
Look, goodness is about the deeds you do, not the tools you use.
And exactly.
See, Paladin just said. We've been given the
Gonna
stamp
give
of
you a
approval.
paladin.
Right? Yeah. Not.
Shiny.
We should.
What are your
we should-
concerns? Articulate your concerns.
No, you know what? I'll roll with it. This is fine. This is fine. I'm already alive one more day than I thought I'd be. Every day is a gift.
We've got at least 15 seconds to discuss the implications, because it's kind of here now.
It's actions that matter, and we're about to save many people.
Exactly.
All right, let's do it. Right?
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes.
The very similar to when you saw the horse leaving the stable. Were you in the stable? Who was in the stable at the time that the horse left? I'm not
I
sure.
believe
You were
was.
outside, and you
Oh.
watched. You and
Oh, that's
Spear
right.
were
I was
outside,
outside. Yeah, correct.
and I think you might have been inside, and you saw the large black horse. This is that large.
Yeah, I mean
horse.
you've killed its kids. Right.
Oh, I hadn't thought of that.
And it comes down, and it sort of starts landing, and lands in the snow, and you. Gouts of steam start ushering from the ground as it steps, one foot after the other. The flames start to die down into this sort of latent coal-like glow as it sort of approaches you. Now seeing it up close again, you remember exactly how big this horse is. It's like slightly bigger than a Destria. You could very easily have 3 people sitting on the back of this thing. And it sort of comes up and is sort of curiously looking at
Greetings.
Bernard.
Greetings. I will be your mage mount, mage rider, and you will be the. We're going to do good things.
So you have comprehend languages up, and
Yeah.
you have a series of commands.
Oh yeah, yes. And the commands are the introductory blather. Yes, done.
Bernard sort of looks at it and is like,
Just like that.
And then I wait expectantly to the...
It stands there, just sort of kicks at the ground a little bit.
No, it's supposed to do that.
Not the paternal type then, eh?
And I further read it. I then say...
Does it have a name or can we name it?
Its name is
any
Mayhem.
name you give it will pale into insignificance to its actual name. Which is...
Fluffy.
Blacknish.
There you are. Translated roughly to Fluffy.
You can call it black if you like. Blacknish.
I will call it black. Do give it the...
Every time
honest due.
when he says its name, its sort of ears perk up. It does seem to bear a lot of the same kind of mannerisms to an ordinary horse. And it doesn't have the capacity to speak, or at least if it does, it's not exhibiting it.
Can I?
You can probably count this.
I looked at Bernard. Can we pat it? Is it pattable?
No, it's not friendly. It's got a bite.
So where are we going again?
I'm going to jump on it and...
I'm definitely not. I think that's a great idea.
Gus, would you like to wait until we've left and then turn into a... We can all jump on it?
I'm not shy.
1, 2, 3...
It can transport 3 people. Like it says in the translations of the unknown language that is written in the book. So you're looking at the book. It actually looks like a very conventional book. It's a handwritten, illuminated book, but in a very clinical script. And then amongst the pages are other pages, loose pages of notes amongst it. And Bernard seems to be reading from the notes, not from the actual text. Which seems to be something different on its own. And he's reading off, we can have it transport us to a location that we know, or we can just guide it as it takes us in a direction as we tell it which way to go. And it seems to be very conventional horsemanship, where you just sort of like tap it one side or the other side to indicate direction, and then up or down, but it responds half to your thoughts and half to your... It is an animal handling check to control the creature as it rides through the sky, but it will also travel to a location that you know. And it can also travel dimensionally. In all cases, it can transport 3 people.
There's 3.5 of us. You can turn into an animal, can you?
Yes.
Can you? A
Yeah.
small animal?
Yes.
So like a pocket lizard?
Sweet pocket lizard.
Have you checked the rules of demon horses and what they consider people?
If you turn yourself into a lizard, you are functionally a lizard, right? Lizard plus halfling equals 1 person. That's just like in the... It's technically 70 kilos per person. It's really 2 halflings. A small size creature.
Well, I guess. How are
6
you?
halflings. 6 halflings could fit on this thing.
How are you all with handling animals?
This isn't an animal.
Well, but it's
I know, but I'm shit at handling animals.
Do you know who
Actually,
he
I
is?
got some skills. No,
You
I got
know
some skills.
who
Some proficiency.
does
Who
did
does?
spend a lot of time riding through the woods growing
did?
up?
What's your handle animal?
Plus 3.
Plus 3. What's your handle at magical beast?
The same.
My arcana is like plus 1.
That's actually as good as mine.
Well, I tell you what. I'm gonna turn myself into a pocket lizard because I want something that's very light and it's really gonna pick up the wind if we fall off.
A gliding pocket lizard.
A gliding pocket lizard.
Like one of those little dragons. But have you seen one of those little dragons?
I've seen them in books.
Okay. That doesn't count.
No, it doesn't.
But, you might have seen a flying squirrel. You've seen Buddy just, like, turn into a little myconoid and float.
This is true. All right, let me know when you're ready to go. Yeah, I will. Where are we going?
Wait, we're all getting on the horse?
I think we should.
I can
I
gallop.
thought this was a good idea.
You're a good rider, right?
Yeah. But it is a hell beast. Anyway.
All right, you're right. Let the wizard
I
handle
thought it was
it.
the tools.
This is wise.
Is it the tools and how you use them?
Well, I'm just... It's a bit big and fiery
I'm making a climb check to get onto the
Ballsy.
horse whilst they are discussing. I'm
It
climbing,
is.
I'm scrambling. And I say, I'm coming up.
Everyone can make a nature check.
Nature check?
Yeah.
Everyone.
And Bernard, you can make an animal handling roll.
Nature.
Or an acrobatics roll, sorry. Thanks, Bernard.
Acro?
Not animal handling?
No.
Ooh.
Yeah, this is just to get on.
17.
Not to get
I
close
rolled
to do what I
a
want.
2.
Alright, so as Bernard's sort of like just under the horse, like jumping, you see like the horse's expression, the nightmare's expression is very much one of disdain and disregard. It's like, yeah, I'm not helping.
This is what's bound me.
No kind of active subservience being demonstrated to Bernard.
I'll cast Spider Climb if I need to. God damn it.
I'll walk over and I'll reach down and I will pick up the halfling and put it on the horse.
Yeah, so the horse's rump is above your head height. Or the nightmare's rump is above your head height. Okay, so
yeah, thanks. Yeah, this guy's got slippery legs. It's kind of cool. Very black. Slippery.
Yeah.
Slippery. Surprising.
Nice.
We're probably going to need a saddle of some kind, but who knows? Flying
the
horse,
hair is
fucking
actually quite long and quite easy to grip.
That's
It's all
pretty good.
about thighs anyway.
Anyone else want to hand up on the hell beasts?
No, I'm gonna do an acrobatics check for a really cool get onto the horse.
Take a bit of a run up in the snow, project yourself off the ground.
Horse is a little bigger than what I'm used to.
I will. As you run up, I'll put my hand down to give you the boost.
Okay,
give you, like,
okay.
advantage.
So there's the gust.
Advantage?
You like catch her halfway.
A little bit of help.
Give a little bit of a boost.
Alley-oop.
18.
Awesome. So like catches, it's more like huh, boom, and then Gus is like ugh, and just pushes you
It's a
on
long
the
way
back.
up, isn't it?
And you're like, oh, but now that you're up here, it's like, oh wow.
Yeah, and I hold my hand out to Gus to help him up.
And it's
Of
kind
course,
of warm.
ridiculous,
You got
yeah.
like the sort of heat
Shouldn't
coming
hold
off
my
the
hand.
main area. It's like, oh, it's like kind of nice, but still cold. You guys are so. You kind of were really stressed and a bit tired, and you haven't slept in almost 48 hours, apart from a brief 1 hour shut eye, and you completely overlooked the fact that all of these three are now dressed in these amazingly fine garments with incredibly thick fur of mink and wolf, just nice and
Once
well
I take the overcoat
groomed.
off, you see all the bling.
Yeah,
Kind of
and wearing
warm.
like necklaces. And they're you guys are getting on this horse. Are you carrying anything else?
Well, what are we going to do with that
Oh.
box of treasure?
So,
I did bury
No.
it.
So
We
how much can
could-
the horse carry? Can we bring more?
Yeah.
Well,
ridiculous.
the saddle. Unfortunately, most of
Bring
the saddlebags
lunches,
that are available to you are probably a bit small to fit on the back of this
We
horse.
should though bring at least one chest.
After about 10 minutes of thinking about what you're doing and discussing this stuff, though, you start to see the nightmare getting pretty restless.
I'm a halfling. It's like I got
So we
Yeah.
can work. So sorry,
utility.
I'm gonna just bring as much gold as I can fit in like purses
Yeah,
and whatnot.
that's fine.
Like
You
what
can easily
gold
fit
and-
like, I don't know, 100 gold on your person. There are
Um,
gems, though.
Can we attach one of the small chests? Like, can we bring one of the small chests?
One gold thing.
You're better off subdividing the stuff amongst
Just
you.
subdivide.
I think
And backpacks.
so. I
So if we
I
all
had
bring, like,
previously
100
organized the
gold.
things into piles, so I'm gonna go and grab.
So you go and
Wait,
dig
you
up your
have
treasure
piles?
chest.
Oh no, I
Oh.
organized. I organized our stuff into piles.
So as we're sitting
while
on the
they
horse,
were
like, where'd you get
talking
that?
earlier and figuring out the demon code.
Okay.
So I'll go, okay, a few gems, some gold, some wine,
I'm gonna follow-
and distribute it.
That person.
And then I'm gonna pretend I'm not as nervous as I am as I request some help to get on the horse.
Just saying, when I shift, don't ask where it goes, but it just kind
We
of
should have gotten a kangaroo. Anyway,
comes in, so I can
Really?
carry the bags and then
Really?
yeah, it's a druid secret.
That's
so we'll pile him up with as much stuff as
yeah.
possible.
This guy's now going to be
A
our
pack mule.
Anyway,
Now,
how much
bag of
stuff do
holding.
we?
I shall call you Bagger.
pieces.
I will be your
Bag of
Look,
small
you guys can
gems.
easily carry. You could easily carry 100 gold each, and all of the gems could be split up amongst you if you wanted to,
I'm
And a bottle
cashed
of
up.
fine wine.
and as much of the jewelry as you can wear.
Okay, so I'm going to suggest. Would that be like half the jewelry?
Yeah, half the jewelry.
Oh,
Easily.
So
the
half
rest
the
of the jewelry
jewelry,
in a
and then
bag.
100 gold pieces each, all of the gems,
This-
and I think at least
You
one.
can take all the jewelry, all the gems, and I mean 100 gold pieces, 200 gold pieces
Well,
each.
as we've
if you
established,
want.
he can be druid. We can hand him everything that can be carried.
We've
He
got enough
turns, and then that thing is just like, oh.
The main thing is we also. I'd like to maybe
Myconid
one
of holding.
bottle of one cask of fine wine. Okay, so are we all on the horse now with our loot?
Are you all on the horse with your loot? Have you figured out what you're taking from
Yes.
this?
Yeah.
Doran sits there and is like,
Oh, Dora.
no, it's
Doran.
okay.
How long have
I
you
will-
been here? Dude.
I will travel. There's some unfinished business. There are some questions that I have in this town. Anyway, I want to make sure that this thing is gone. I want to make sure we didn't miss any tracks. And also, I'm sure that Noriko and Rosalind, they may need some help.
You also have to take care of Barrel Boy.
I will also need to take care of Brandy Barrel Boy. He
Um,
looks over at Brandy Barrel Boy. Brandy Barrel Boy looks at him and is like,
Doran, if we part ways too long, will we meet up in Neverwinter? Yeah.
it's not a bad option if that's what you, for the commanding officer, Saya.
Neverwinter it is then.
It's been a pleasure serving with you.
It's been a pleasure.
Pulls a swift salute at the last minute.
Not to seeming grateful, but can I get a nice coat? It's cold. I know it looks
You're
like
a
I've got...
lizard now. It's fine.
How's that? Did that lizard say something? I got comprehend
I don't know,
language
it's
still.
got interesting eyes.
I just
I'm
I just
He's
never
basically yelling at
expected-
us with its eyes.
No,
I'm not
I
sure
understand what he's
saying.
saying. He's saying he wants a coat.
I'm sure.
There was no,
I can put
there
him in
was
my
no
pocket.
lizard-sized coats.
Do you want to be in my
It's a
pocket?
furry pocket. No, that's a good option.
Yeah.
That's a good option.
We worked it out.
I think because like
I can just float off with the gold in another direction.
Shall we just
So you
stop by
are
the
you are
settlers?
pack muling all of the gold? Is
I'm
that
No,
pack muling,
no,
but well, I just want to get
do
like
it.
nice.
pack muling the remainder of the gold.
Yeah, I just want to get like I'm not worried about actually getting a bunch of nice things because it's just not a problem. But an actual proper warm, like there are nice things and there are comfortable
I'm
clothes.
assuming you're addressing this concern before you transform into a pocket lizard.
No, well I'm transforming into a myconid
Oh,
and buddying up.
okay. Are you like identical
Yeah, like
and double buddy?
yeah, he's,
Except for one of them has one hit point.
yeah. we don't chest bump hard. He's got like a little red mushroom.
Yes, but are you
cap,
addressing
and I
this
put-
problem before you transform?
Yes, I'm just in front of my phone.
Well,
Madame Numa's house.
We can-
All the nice clothes are laid out on the floor.
we'll just ride there. It'll be fine. Small detour.
To Madame Numa's house. It's just over there. It's,
just-
it's
Oh,
in the
well,
town
Great.
square. It's
Okay,
fine.
cool. While we're sorting out the loot, you find yourself a really fancy jacket.
So you
Cool.
walk in.
I say,
I just wanna be
transport me
warm."
to Madame Numa's house.
Using a hell steed to walk like 20 feet. Thank you. You are unbound.
Alright, so you walk in, yes.
Before we go, oh no,
You're
we'll
not
do
going.
this first.
You're walking and
Sorry.
you find a house. There's a seamstress's house, but all of the fabrics available in the house are of super fine quality. There's like silks and really high quality wools and various types of furs, all bolted up and just stacked on the walls. I believe there was like 1,000 gold in fabrics just stacked up on the far wall. If you have any capacity to identify that, it's not a question. There are also various jewelries and undergarments and a whole selection of pre-made outfits. So you can have a suit of fine clothes or two if you want.
So we're sitting on the horse, like waiting. You're having your own fashion montage.
I'm actually just like snapshotting. All I want is something comfortable, practical for travel.
Aw. I was imagining
Are
us
you-
sitting on the
Are you going to do a fashion montage to try things on or
What about
just
this
grabbing a
just
coat
sitting
and
there?
going?
I'm going to try
First.
like something fits. I'll wear it. But,
Well, there's only one way to know.
10 minutes. 10 minutes is fine. Past
Okay,
that I come out.
so Gus has his own amazing fashion montage while you guys are
There's
waiting.
flashing lights. There's music. It was a gala event.
I join in.
While he's
I give him advice throughout
Okay,
about what
but-
I think looks good on
You're
him.
doing
would
the
you
whole
like to make
Unwelcome
a
advice.
roll with advantage
crossing your arms
to
and
find
shaking
out
your
how
head.
gaudy or less ungaudy or tasteful your outfit is?
So now what do I add to it?
Nothing.
17
Okay.
or
Well,
5?
you think
were
it's
my
great.
options.
That's fine. Yeah,
17 or 5? Those are the two.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Okay, I think it's great. Yay.
You think it's great.
They look beautiful.
Okay, I feel warm without using magic. That's great. I'll go back into the horse.
Okay, let's go.
Can I please check with the smiths and see if my shield is ready?
Yes, your shield is ready.
Yay!
You've taken a day or so to sort of do that. Do you? Sorry, at the end of, are you just practicing with your horse?
Clomp, clomp, to the smiths. Clomp.
Going-
And then up, down, clomp. Just figuring it out. 6 degrees sideways. Got the pan. Got the stroke.
Yeah. Let's give me a sync roll on a D10 to see how much you actually get along with this horse.
I rolled a 9.
Well, you actually it takes you a little while, but eventually you start to get this really beautiful synchronicity with it.
Just like magic.
Yeah, it's like magic. You feel this deep connection with this animal.
Deep connection.
Yeah, like you've never felt this connection with an animal before. It's like it knows exactly what you're
He's
thinking.
the yin to
and-
my yang.
Yeah,
It's just like being a group.
yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, I know it's like to be me every day.
And by the time everyone comes to you, you feel really confident.
Mhm.
With it. So you go over to the smiths, and you pick up your shield. And you're all, at this point, ready to leave, yes?
I thank
Yes.
the Smiths. All of their hospitality.
They're like, thank you for saving us. And delivering this town. I mean, we're much finer in population than we used to be, but we definitely have the facilities to make it through the winter at this point. And thank you for all of your sacrifices.
Remember, it's quality over quantity.
You're always welcome here,
Thank you.
anytime. And if there's anything you need us to keep for you, just let us know. At which point, you choose to depart.
Was that the smith?
Yeah.
It's not the tool, but how you use it.
And the question here is, where is it that you're going? I believe you were heading to the
Are we not
the
going to go to
estate.
Oh, we're going to the state first, that's right. Because we have to travel lots of places. That's why we need a fast horse.
Alright, so as you... Alright, I got this. You're sitting there, your pocket lizards.
No, I'm a microwave.
Oh, you're Myconoid. So, the two buddies on people's shoulders, or sitting on laps, the two tiny little anthropomorphic mushroom people.
They should be lap
Not my luck.
shrooms.
I'll take a mushroom. I'll
There's,
take a mushroom.
there's mushroom for us.
Well, Bernard's up the
I'll take the
front.
mushroom.
I'm the little spoon.
Bernard's at the front. Eric
I think
Salia's
the
probably got...
myconoids should be the tiny spoons to the little spoon, to the medium spoon, to the big spoon.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so
I'm at
there's
the
like
back.
Myconoid,
That's what I'm saying.
Myconoid,
Yeah,
Bernard,
you are the big spoon.
Saya, Spear. Okay. And you've seen it travel off, you've heard it travel off into the clouds before. But as this happens, you can all make wisdom saving throws.
Oh no! No.
That's a 22.
Okay,
You don't roll
fine,
that.
you've done this before. You've turned into
Oh,
birds.
you can roll those! 9.
Okay, you're like...
No, I'm definitely nervous. She's definitely nervous.
Okay, you're okay.
Oh my
So
goodness.
at this point, Bernard, you're freaking out.
I've made it
Just like the synchronicity. Fully in touch with this horse, but
You're fully in touch with the
terrified of
horse.
heights.
The horse like descends now to the tree line. Starts just like trumpling, like now it's like transporting you just over the tree line as it starts to speed up.
Oh yeah, this better.
But this gets you guys a little bit better, so the people who failed can make another roll. Particularly the person directing you.
16.
Alright, cool.
I still failed.
Okay. But you're right at the back, so
I'm right at the back,
You're
and
the
I'm just
person-
clutching everyone really
I
tightly.
look back,
So,
kind of
yeah.
look back and go,
Yeah.
geez, that was scary, wasn't it? But we got the hang of it now.
Just like loosen a tiny bit. I cannot breathe.
What if we all die?
I'm pretty sure we're all gonna die.
It's a demonic hell beast.
And you start to see everyone from the back, like you see everything, like from the head of the horse backwards, start to turn invisible.
Ah!
And your fingers and your hands, you're like.
I'm full panicking now.
I'll grab Spear's like hands that are wrapped around me and just like reassure.
Okay, cool. Give me a
Try and pull her
charisma.
fingers out of your flesh.
Come on,
Just a charisma roll, raw.
That is not the hands of
I rolled
comfort.
a 1.
Something along the
So
lines
it's
of.
So she's like disappeared, and all I can feel is like something weird grabbing my hands. Like,
Just say something. Say something. The least soothing thing that you could possibly say to someone in the situation as you speed up and start to ascend once more above the tree line.
It's alright. Even if we fall, which honestly, I feel like our death will be pretty quick and instantaneous. And we've conquered death before. It's not an issue.
It's not the fall that kills you, but the gravity.
Okay. So you get. I'm going to leave you all there for the minute. So after a long, hard ride on these very cold weather horses, they're related to destriers. Thea and Pearl, or Peral, Peril. That's what you call yourself. I'm Peril. That's what you call yourself.
Peril? Yes.
Yeah, okay. After a long ride, you finally catch sight of the abandoned estate that you heard so much about. Or not abandoned estate, but the estate that you believe is, you might be able to find an old man there. You have wrapped up in a pack on the saddlebags the golden griffin standard.
The Wentworth estate.
It is finally. Jeez.
I know, my ass is so sore.
Riding these damn horses for weeks.
I haven't done this sort of riding before.
Oh, man. Human roads. Worst.
The fucking worst.
What are elf roads?
Not like this. They're like the horse is caressing you as you ride.
One
Instead
day.
of this rough kneading.
Yeah.
Ugh. We should
depends how you like it.
push around and unfurl the banner as we ride on
Okay.
in.
As you move, you've just come to the crest of a hill and you start riding down into the valley where the estate is nestled. And you see it, and the first thing that strikes you as strange is that there is no smoke. And for early afternoon, in the middle of winter,
Yeah, you think there'd be a bit of
Maybe a
smoke.
little.
He was meant to be on his
jumping.
last legs, wasn't he? Oh, he's old.
Hopefully he's not off his last legs already. We may be a little premature with this banner on. Well, I'll just stuff that. But
Probably, best to be safe.
his elite guards were left behind, but mostly it was the older men. What
Home
forces
guards.
the
could
very
be mustered.
experienced ones.
Yeah, what forces could be mustered were sent with his sons to the front. Or at least that's what they told you around the campfires as they slowly passed.
Ever so slowly. So we see no smoke coming from the estate itself. Are there any outbuildings?
Yes, there are some small servants' estates. By the looks of it, small servant buildings. There's a small hovel, and then it sort of moves in, and then the larger estate. The estate itself, give me perception rolls, both of you.
14.
Okay. It seems to be... You're like, oh, it looks like it's in some minor state of disrepair. Like, as you come down the path, you see that it looks like one of the windows is open or broken. And part of the roof is caved in just a little bit. And as you come in, you're like, no, it looks fine to you.
Most human hovels.
You may want to keep a knife handy.
I always have a knife handy.
Well, that's fine then.
And you finally get close enough to you reveal it's this vast 3-floor manor house. It looks like it's built slightly fortified, stone foundations rising up to a roof that's just tiled, essentially. There is one tower in the corner that sort of rises up above the rest of it, allowing a vantage point over the surrounding area.
You're not feeling comfortable about this. You're telling me to keep
Not
a sword.
entirely.
Maybe we shouldn't be coming in all, guns blazing on a horse, like straight up to the front door.
Horses are the standard mode of transport around here.
Yeah, but maybe we could just, head in from the side a little. Some people can get a little bit, a bit angry when they're not expecting you. Like, it's not looking very friendly and welcoming at the moment.
It's not looking very anything at the moment.
Yeah, well, on your head be it.
Well, fingers crossed not, but hey, let's see how we go.
As you guys get closer, the horses, you're just going up to the front door, yes?
Yeah, now.
You ride up to the front, and you see that the front door is a large double door and sort of a peaked archway. And one of the doors is slightly ajar. You see there are no lights on inside.
Are there
no
signs of the
movement.
door being forced, or just left open?
Give me a perception roll.
Recognize those signs.
Right. 5.
The door itself seems like it was opened normally, but now looking at the front windows, it seems like they have been smashed.
Listening for some sounds. Am I hearing any sort of anything around? Perception?
Yeah, it's perception.
7.
Nothing particular. The wind, some birds.
Horses.
Yeah, the horses.
Yeah.
Sound of a small hare twerping in the distance.
I think our Lord's last legs may not be functional.
Yeah. Maybe there's still something of value in here, though.
There probably will be, as well as
Possibly something we don't want to run into.
bandits and things,
pointy things.
probably. So let's keep this on the down low, and we'll have a
Okay.
So
Dismount.
there is a bank out the front where you can tether your horses,
fantastic.
Do that. Do you want to lead in? Want to go?
and there are stables around the side as well.
I can.
We want quick exits. Stables are too far away. Unless we want to hide them.
It might be good hiding them.
All right. Let's take those, end them in, and then maybe even around the back.
I can head up.
Okay. All right.
So you take the horses
Stable
down
horses.
to the stable.
Okay.
You head around the back.
Okay.
I'll
Go
go up
through
the
the front.
tower.
Okay. So I take the horses to the stable
Mm-hmm.
and go approach the stables carefully,
Okay, yep.
listening again for sound.
Yep.
Ooh, 60. Any other horses sounds even? Oh, the sound of death.
What the shit is that?
Smell at this point.
It
Don't want
smells
to.
less like death and more like sort of mustiness as you sort of like peer into the stable. The door is actually flung wide open. Give me a survival roll.
Oh, no, it's not looking good. 7.
Okay. One of the doors is wide open, and you sort of lean into the stable. It seems to be lacking any kind of occupation. You sort of like go in. Sort of a few bits of sunlight trickle through the various bits of thatching that are missing off the roof, and as you go along, you start to see stalls. There's like 6 stalls down either side, and some wooden setups at the far end where it looks like maybe dogs were kept. And as you approach, you go through the stables and you see there's hardly anything there. There are like some bits and pieces, like a little scrap of old leather. You see maybe just like a single horse's hoof just kind of lying in one corner. It's like a little bit of like petrified flesh and bones sticking out from it. And then as you sort of go towards the back, you sort of hear the sound of flies, and they're coming from one of these boxes at the far end. It looks like kennels where dogs were stored, but they're all sort of wooden cages right at the front. And it looks like some of these cages have been sort of busted into, like forcibly, something just crashed into the cages, torn them open, whether or not it was the dogs coming out from the inside or something from the outside going in. You're not sure. But you find in one of the kennels, there's sort of a cloud of flies and just like a mess of black
So no
stuff.
distinctive bodies or anything like that.
No
Just
distinctive bodies, no. Just this one pile of like organic matter that seems to be slowly moldering in the corner. And moldering is correct. It's not decomposing. Doesn't seem to be decomposing in the normal way. Well, make a medicine roll. See if you know what decomposing the normal way is.
14.
Yeah, it definitely looks weird.
Okay. Am I not bring the Forcians in here. I feel like this would be not a nice place for them to be. There's probably somewhere I can like tether them outside,
Yeah, absolutely.
so I don't have to put them in the stables, but I don't want to take them back to the front door again. So.
Yeah, there's like a trough. It's currently got ice over it, but you could probably smash that and there'd be water underneath it.
Okay, I will do that. And then head around the back.
And are you going straight around the back?
I was heading up to see if I could get a view in any of the.
You going
higher
in the
ground.
building?
No, up the outside.
Oh, you're gonna go climbing. Alright, cool. So the only thing that's impeding you at the moment is the icicles and general sort of slipperiness of the surface. So give me an acrobatics roll.
I have a climbing kit.
Oh, well, that gives you proficiency. Oh, extra +2, sorry. How badly did you fail?
I got 6.
Okay, total.
Yes.
So you get up to about the first floor, and you are just going around the back to tether your horses, and then you hear a yell and a thump.
I do this all the time.
And you rush around to find Paral just lying in the snow, rubbing his ass. You take 2 points of damage from the fall.
You're meant to be around the back.
You're meant to be up the top! What are you doing? Maybe we should just go inside. There was some really weird, mouldering stench. It wasn't decomposition. It was not normal.
Let me just walk this off. Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
You can go first.
I'll go first.
Alright, so you hobble around for a bit. You go in the front or the back? Like going around the back, you see there's a servant's entrance and also a back patio area of some description where just a door comes out and there's like a thatched roof that just extends over as an awning style. It looks like there's a small still set up out there actually.
After all that noise, I don't think it matters which door we go in.
No, I'm going to, around the side that I didn't land on.
Oh,
Quietly.
it's a diversion.
Exactly.
As you're going also around the house and you approach the back door, you see that pretty much every window on the ground floor seems to be broken.
Inside? Glass to the inside or glass to the outside of the house?
It's hard, well you haven't been inside yet and
No, but is there
snow
glass on the ground because of the snow?
Snow has fallen since then, so it would be hard to tell. You're welcome to take some time and dig, do an investigation roll if you like.
We've got a little bit of time in our hands, surely.
Sure.
18.
Oh,
We could cut our
yeah,
hands
you
with
dig in.
glass.
There's no glass on the outside,
So it's smashed in.
but you're sort of like digging through, and yeah, no glass on the outside. Oh, pull up a bit of cloth, so like tear it up, and it's like it's someone's shirt. It's like it's all kind of stained and torn.
Human clothes.
Like, sort of some of the bits and pieces that I saw in the stable. Like,
It looks like somebody. It looks like this was on somebody
but no.
who died
Yeah, yeah.
horribly,
There's nothing else
and then was
underneath
torn
it.
off them and thrown aside.
Okay. Alright. There was something really making in the statements. I get my daggers ready
Yeah,
to go in.
let's draw my rapier.
Okay.
Sneak on in the front door.
You guys start moving in. You come into a large sort of antechamber. Look around. There are paintings on the walls. You count like 4 large paintings on the walls in the main
Do you
hallway.
recognize the brothers in the paintings?
Yeah, actually, one of them is a family portrait of the 2 brothers and Sir Andal Wentworth. It's the first proper portrait you've seen of him.
Hey, that's gonna help.
Yes.
But this is definitely the right place. Looking around behind you above the door is another version of the
The crest.
Wentworth family crest, just in tapestry, and it looks like everything. So everything above, like neck height in the room, seems to be untouched, pristine. Apart from the weather coming in through the open windows, it's all in order.
Okay.
Then it's a stark contrast to everything from the neck down. Like side tables have just been thrown aside, smashed, laid across the floor. Carpets in particular have been like torn up, like rugs from the Far East have like been torn up and made into a wreck as things look like they've just been dragged or maneuvered around in odd ways all across the
So
floor
it
here.
doesn't look like an animal or anything like animalistic. It's like
Yeah, nature roll, please.
year one. I don't go outside much.
Oh, yeah, maybe someone had a mad party in here. Could be a
Like
squatters or
I've seen
something.
this sort of thing in some tavern fights.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's another large door on the far side of this room, and then 2 spiral staircases go up to a large landing area or mezzanine.
Okay. You stay about here-ish.
Okay.
I'll go and press that door open.
All right, so you're going in. You approach the door, and you guys can both make perception rolls.
8.
10. It's been a long ride. We are really tired.
No, that's good.
My bad.
As you open the door, the door opens out into a large banquet room. But again, a single long table down the center of the room seems to have been turned over. It was actually 3 tables all laid together with benches down either side, and they've just been thrown aside, scurried here and there. You see bits of armor sitting over to one side, a sword, an axe, and arrows just in the wall here and there. And you sort of look around and you're like, oh sorry, Thea, you look around and you see there's also like an arrow and an axe sort of just in the wall out here, some weapons, and you sort of pick something and there's like a boot, just like pick it up. It's like, seems like it's partially disintegrated. You look around and you're like, hey Pero, you check this out, and you sort of walk into the dining room and you both hear, you're standing there looking at the table and you hear this sound and you both look up. And there's 2 things that you hear, one thing which won't be mentioned right now, but the second thing you hear is a like a thunderous hoofbeat echoing in the distance. As you guys...
Oh, Mother was right.
This is gonna make for a great story if we get out of it alive.
As you guys see the house, Bernard, and you can all lay sides. Yeah, you can make one more roll to see if this.
No. 3.
It's a death trap.
Why is fear? Why?
I rolled like a 4, a 2, and a 3.
Everything about this experience
I'm just horrified.
is holding on for dear life.
Only dragons should fly.
I understand this is traumatic for you, so I want to end it as quickly as possible by coming in for a handbreaky.
I knew it was too much to expect Mother to not come for your life.
Also, along with the thundering, you hear a also continuous screaming noise. Okay.
I barely escaped your home with my life intact.
So Bernard, you see the house. It is a large 3-story house set in a valley with trees sort of petering out as they come closer towards the house, and then getting greater in density as they move away from the house. There are some pastoral lands, some farmlands, sort of relatively close by, but they seem to be overgrown, disheveled. Like there's another farm that you passed on the way, and a village that you saw on approach. Based on maps and what other people have told you, you figured it to be the village of Bale's End.
I reckon Saya will probably have a better object of that whole geography thing, because she's got more time with the map.
Oh, I do have the map.
She's trusted with information, and more observant. So, and I'm also steering. So, for those reasons, I presume you're looking out the windows.
Yeah.
Because my focus is on that landing patch that I've got my eye on.
But I'm not talking about the transitive properties of death.
I got a fuzzy dice on
You
this
see
one.
that there is some damage to the roof
Uh-huh.
of the manor house, and it seems like some of the windows on the ground floor.
My actual expectation is that anything we encounter there is probably not friendly, and somehow related to the fungus. Right?
I think that's a fair
I think
assumption.
our options for stealth are blasted. And so they
Somehow
know
you're
that we're
shouting over
coming,
me.
we know they're coming, so I'm basically going, okay, we're coming in hot, get ready to
Get me
Alright.
off this thing!
Alright, and I like whip out my shield and I have like my hand with some holy energy.
Alright.
Let's
Oh,
land this.
you're already side saddle, sort of
Yeah,
hanging
yeah,
on the catch a thing, ready to spring off.
Yeah.
Alright. So you all descend. Where are you landing?
You know how there's the manor house
Yep.
and the steps that lead up to
And
the
there's
main door?
stables, servants' quarters.
I'm going to land it on that patch between the doormat and the top of the steps.
Does it stop straight away when it lands? Does it need to gallop
Generally
a bit
not.
to
Generally
slow
not,
down?
Yes. it's you have this synergy. It knows that it's going to have to come into some kind of small handbrake turn. But
Handbrake in.
You see the ground, you've never been-
off, and then I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
catch you later, birdie, and then
So-
out of the roll.
So Spear, you've never been so glad to be rushing quickly towards the ground in your entire life.
Yeah, I'm very excited.
As you like come in, and in fact there is like a skid as the whole horse like
I feel
slumps
bad.
and sort of lowers its haunches and skids down, and you make an acrobatics roll as you sort of get to that point.
So, actually, I've already seen how this goes. This is fucking awesome.
Are you
I'm
gonna?
going to use my 15 from the day at the port.
Nice.
Okay, awesome. And you jump off, roll exactly as described,
Yeah.
land up,
Oh, so good.
Yeah.
and you.
And then I look back for Spear and Sire, who are going to be basically doing the Charlie's Angels wings.
I'm not sure if that happens. How do you go? You like stumble off the horse and kiss the sweet ground.
Yeah, I think it's something like that. I think that she's probably not doing any acrobatics. She just wants to get off. And
You can easily dismount. It's just an action.
I'm just dismounting and standing a bit stricken, I think.
Take 3 steps back from the hound who turns to look at you, its blazing eyes, and then it turns away and
Later, bud.
start catapulting off and like starts riding off into the distance and then back above the tree line and away.
I do a small somersault coming off the horse.
Keep up.
And I start I kick in the slightly open door and I start running into the house.
Oh, she's doing it. She's with the program. I'm loving it.
Cool. Well, you hear a faint. So you guys hear as you come into the house a faint cry
Oh shit.
coming from the. So give me your best cry.
The hitting the ground cry? Or
No,
a different one?
oh my god, you're surprised by the hideous things that you see above you. Something like that. So just to denote the area that we're in, I'm going to use some ruins that I have here.
Somebody needs help. The lady needs help.
There's some small child choking on something.
I feel like I don't have enough daggers for this.
Nobody
So
has enough daggers for this.
this is the bounds of the room.
You know, you can pull it out and stick it back in.
Yeah, but if they're in
Oh,
the roof,
what?
it's going to be a long way up
Oh,
to get
that's
them.
bad.
So mage hand is for you. Stick it in your mage hand. I guess does a dagger that's been stuck in someone count as unattended?
And you guys are coming in
When they're
from the front entrance, which is over this way. So that is... And you let me know, Gus, when you're transforming back.
I think this is like at the moment I get off the horse and then I land on Bernard's head.
So the
body
nightmare
lands on
settled
my
about
Oh,
here.
put a trench coat on.
Like,
Make
like,
it
a little, like a little totem pole.
3 kids in a coat.
But when the cry comes out, I'm prepping because the problem is when I turn back into me, I need space.
It's like a gold
And
grenade.
all the things fall out of me, and I'm going to step out of the pile of stuff and.
Alright, so...
Assassins in a pinata.
Carol and Thea are in the middle of the dining room, which is a large chamber, about this big. There's a door at this end of the dining chamber, and there's a door at this end of the dining chamber. Apart from that, this is just walls around here. There's the area with the stairs, the foyer, just here, and you three. So, you've jumped off out the front here. Saya, you've gone in first and run straight through. Bernard is here. And Spear, you're taking your breath and staring down the horse who's staring down you. And turns away, thunders off in the distance. This is your starting point. So as you guys are sitting there and you look up, you see two large creatures crawling down the walls.
Oh, that is a lot grosser than I was expecting.
And then you catch sight of one more still on the side, crawling out from underneath the debris, angling towards you.
What's the other one, Lou? Is it the same?
It is the same, just in a slightly different position.
Yay.
And I made these today just for you guys.
Aww.
Hoping to spend more time on them and cast them, but making them all individually by hand gives them a special touch.
So they can kill us with a
Is it going to
Love.
individual.
You guys can both make nature rolls to see if you can identify what these creatures are.
Well, last
Can
time
we?
was so good.
Oh, so
No,
can Sarya as you burst through the door.
9.
5.
Ooh, 17.
Oh, yeah.
One on nature.
Yeah.
You've read about these in books, and this is like definitely a strange place for them to be. These are carrion crawlers. They're creatures who are drawn to places where large amounts of, well, reasonable amount of death seems to take place. They don't like to share space with any other scavengers. So the fact that they're here means that no other major scavengers are here. But considering that these things are not unformidable in their own right, there are probably not many scavengers that would contest them in this environment. You, however, know that they can do a certain amount of poison damage, and they have tentacles in their mouths. Regardless of which,
We've eaten all the hyenas already.
Yeah.
We're safe from everything else.
Except for disease, poison, and
now
tentacles.
these guys were fully up the walls, and they crawled down, and with their action they've come to their current positions, and seem to be closing in on two figures who stand in the middle of the room. So Asaria bursts through the door. Please give yourself a physical description.
I am a kind of tall, quite thin elf. I'm a wood elf, but I don't really look like one. I have long black hair and dark eyes, and I've got like quite ivory skin, except a lot of me has been disfigured by
Yeah, so as she
third
bursts
degree.
through the door sort of slams open, and this light, the sunlight from the just hits the right point, and this glow sort of radiates behind her as her black hair sort of wafts in the wind, and you recognize the distinct face of Saya Lucine.
Why, mother? Why would you send her to me and my half siblings' life? You cruel woman.
Give me
It's got a pit in that.
give me an intelligence roll, DC like 18.
Oh no. Oh shit. Oh, that's 20!
You're like,
Because that's what you want
19.
to spend it on.
so I would like
You don't want
to.
fight.
Once upon a time, you were just going about your business back in school, learning about Saloon. You just started under your mentor at this point.
Yes, Alan.
And there was this young boy who visited with his family, who was quite an aristocratic brand of moon elves. He was like here and there, he'd occasionally sort of leave, and you always kind of noticed him in the middle of ceremonies. He'd sort of just be casting an eye across to you. You didn't pay too much mind, but then one day he went with his father on a long voyage. You didn't really see him much after that, but you found in your quarters there was, please describe.
So there was a beautiful little locket, which included a tiny painting. There was an inscription over to one side saying the gods alone could make such dark beauty, and a tiny painting that was obviously you, and it was really good aside from the eyes, which was slightly
Oh my god, alright. So I recognize him. Alright, So first
How could you
through this
forget that sort of magic?
What the fuck are you doing here?
All right, and Pearl, it's your turn.
I'm gonna dive roll over to some cover and try and stick this rapier back in. Actually, no, sorry. I'm gonna dive and tackle you out of the way,
Great.
away from this
Do you want this to happen?
and the carrion crawlers.
So you just
Get
grab-
down, mothers!
I was expecting, like the buddy kind of movements where we're back to back guarding each other.
She's killing you emotionally. I'm just killing you physically, but me emotionally. Get down. That's exactly how she works.
Oh, all right. Now I'm trusting this move.
All right, good. So you take a how far? Like this way?
I dive into some cover,
No,
and if
away
I can
from
try and
Saya.
make a free hide roll
Oh, away-
while I'm
Away
doing
from
that.
Saya.
Okay, behind this table, perhaps.
Towards the evil
Exactly.
thing.
Is it?
Away from
That
everything.
one over that
way over, no,
looks
towards
alright.
you.
This way?
There, that
Okay,
way.
okay.
Closer to Herbert.
Right. So you can hide behind this piece of furniture.
Can I make a hide roll for both of us as my free?
Yeah.
I'm totally a noble action.
Yep. And I'm going to say that you have to voluntarily give up at least half of your move action to allow this to go forward.
Yeah. Well, look, he's warned me of the incoming threat of my master.
It's fine. We're gone.
Okay.
Away
I
from
need
the
you also to
beautiful
make a
assassin.
stealth roll.
Yeah. That
Or
was
a hide roll, sorry.
23.
Stealth, same thing. Not just you.
Where is it? Stealth.
Yes.
Yep. 22.
Solid.
Nobody ever.
There were people there.
And suddenly, sorry, they just dash to the side and disappear behind a piece of furniture.
But still.
Thea, is there anything else you want to do as you guys run to the side? Or is that your action, Pearl?
That's. I presume that would be my action. If I can do another action, it would be to try and switch out to a more ranged weapon and get a shot off at one of these giant bug things.
Mhm.
If I have the ability to do so.
A ranged attack, you'd have to reveal your hidden position.
It would be a hell of a ranged attack.
Okay. So you will, if you can?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. And that will be cued by these guys moving into a place. So you ready in action?
Yes.
Alright, Thea.
Well, you just hidden me away. So. But these bug things.
Got me. You're a ranged person anyway.
Yeah,
Just stick a
I'm
knife
gonna
in
like.
them from a
Can I
distance.
see one from where I am?
Do you want to look out from your hiding place? I mean, yeah, you just look over your friend. There's like this one's just like
Yeah, that's
crawling down
probably
here.
still too close for comfort. Can I? I'm gonna use my mask.
So sorry, as you step into the room, you see like a flash of color from these colorful garments that you originally saw when you came into the room. Just like duck up from behind a piece of furniture. A dagger shoots across the floor and hits this thing in the eyes. Twitches a little bit before coming back and looking in their direction. Starts moving towards them, and then ducks back down. I imagine.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Totally. No one knows I'm
Augustus.
here.
I hear screams and scuttering.
Yes.
I'll plop down off the top of Fernard. Take a couple of steps to the side, of the door.
Mhm.
At which point I will step out of a very large pile of goods as a human.
Oh yeah.
So like, it's like.
Say it's a bonus action to just drop everything.
Instant barricade.
Yeah, and then get my stick out, give it a shake, hit it on the ground, or get a little glow on, and then make my way up next to Saya.
Cool. So you very easily just make it up to about here. And you look in the room and you see these three critters.
This isn't good.
Alright.
There's a lot going on. I think I'm
That's you,
next.
Saya, yeah.
I'm going to. What's closest to me?
We could leave.
That bug.
This one?
Yep. I'm not gonna use the spell I was gonna use. So I'm gonna use guiding bolt.
I think she's disguising her true nature.
No.
Aren't we all?
So I flash a bolt at the furthest one, the closest to Peril, and
Yeah, you did see that one was already injured.
okay, yeah, I cast Guiding Bolt, and I shout out, nope, that's it. I am going to move into the room a little bit though. Along the wall, near that broken thing, yeah.
Yeah. You want to take cover behind it?
Yeah.
Because you've got enough movement to just jump around it.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'll do that.
And you jump over, and you sort of look over, and now for the first time, clearly, you see the form of Thea crouching in the corner, behind this piece of furniture. Thea, describe yourself.
I am a sort of fairly tall, human-looking person, but not quite human. It looks like a bit of elf going on there. I've got black hair, long black hair, elaborately braided with sort of ribbonies worked through there as well. Quite pale, blue eyes. Clothing is sort of travel wear, but quite bright. There's some sort of strange, colourful element to it. They're not quite blending in. And lots of daggers. I've also got a moon sort of slash wave tattoo around my eye.
Which you immediately recognize as the family crest of...
The Wave Dancer family. Famous admirals and explorers from Nevermint.
Part of that is the marketing campaign to tattoo your family crest onto you.
Oh no, it's not anything as crass as a tattoo.
We'll get to that conversation.
But yes.
I've got a few scars here and there and other sort of tattoos, but that one's quite distinct.
Mm-hmm. And is in purple ink.
Yeah, like a
faintly
purple.
luminescent. Alright, so, and then behind her is a cloaked figure you can't make out too well, so we want to do a physical description at this point. And that's you? Or Guiding Bolt? How much did you hit?
Oh, I should roll.
Find out.
That always helps.
All the work
That would be an unnatural 20.
Yep, that hits.
So that would be 46.
And the next person to strike there has advantage.
14.
Cool. And... Spear.
Okay. Well, hearing the sound of battle, I think I've come out of my shocked state, staring down the steed, and I will...
Something I have control over!
Yes, finally, something I can do. I'm going to draw my brand new golden longsword, and heft my shield and run towards the action.
Cool. So you make it to about here at standard movement. Yep. And you quickly take in the scene. You see a brief glimpse of a colourful character hanging out behind here. Sarya is in the corner, and this creature is slightly illuminated from some radiant energy that you recognize as one of Sarya's guardian bolts. Apart from that, you very quickly catch sight of these two creatures.
And nothing's in melee range.
Not at this point, no.
Okay.
Because the door is here to here.
I'll throw a spear at the javelin at the one
Closest
closest to
to
me.
you? Yep.
Ooh, yeah, I actually rolled something decent.
It's the wrong dice too. You've got to
Oh,
swap
yeah,
over.
I didn't swap over. 23.
Okay, yeah, that hits.
Because it's within 30 feet, right?
Yeah,
The
yeah.
curse
that
was
is.
within your armor.
Okay, roll damage.
It's not much. 4 damage.
Oh, it's
Plus
not
your
nothing.
dex mod?
Now you pass the curse on to the next dice.
Plus my dex mod?
Yeah.
It was, yes.
Oh.
I rolled a 1.
It's a rotating curse.
It's
Moves from
alright.
dice to dice.
Alright,
I'm
Bernard.
still a little bit shook.
Oh, is
right?
it?
Bernard. Bernard is going to take this move up to join Spear, in fact.
You're just a little bit behind them because 25 feet instead of 30.
Sure. Have I got line of sight onto that one that she just attacked?
Not quite. It's around the corner because the doors are here and here. So
Or
you
can
just,
I move out to the
see the
side so
guiding.
that I get it?
So when you sweep down, you come this direction. Yeah, you can just get line of sight on it through the doorway.
Yep. Then I am...
Because its tail is kind of up the wall. It's like crawling down.
Sure. I will going to then speak the hurting word. Cast the Toll of the Dead. That's a wisdom save for you. DC 12.
Everybody hears a but it has no effect. As they crawl forwards, this one moves very quickly across the room towards you, Thea, but then very quickly discovers that...
Can I use my held action?
Yes.
Awesome. I will plug it in its face. And then next turn I can use my free action to barrel you out of the way again.
Yeah, when you get the chance.
With advantage because of the hiding?
That's correct.
Okay,
well, it's not with advantage. Yes,
Thank
with
you.
advantage because of the hiding. You are hidden from it. It is looking for her.
Yep.
Perfect distraction for you.
But you
not
also-
succeed at anything.
You also get advantage for the Guardian Bolt the last time she shot.
Do I get double advantage?
You can't get double advantage, but that disappears, unfortunately.
Oh no.
Do I need more than a 13?
No.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
really.
Jeez. Right then. 11.
Alright. You sort of pop out and you're shooting with... Draws out. So you all see, except for Bernard, everybody sees standing up from behind a broken bookshelf.
So there's an elf in totally fantastic looking clothes. He practically have money showering out of him as he stands up. He's got
I know how that feels.
deep black hair with just a hint of blue and some accenting in silver that suggests waves cresting in the open ocean.
A little rough.
Little rough. Yeah, and he stands up and dives sideways and shoots. Great shot.
Yep,
Into
as
a
this thing is
thing.
coming towards you and rears back, but unfortunately the bulk of the creature is such that it continues to careen forwards and comes right at you. It reaches out, lashing at you with its tentacles. So, what's in this? Does a 20 hit?
Yes. Yes, a 20.
So these small tendriling grasping protrusions, tentacles come out from around its mouth and latch onto your arm that's holding the bow and around your neck and leg and start dragging you in towards it. You take 6 points of poison damage.
Good, yep.
And you must make a Constitution saving throw.
So that's pretty graceful. You did the whole leaping bow shot.
Yeah, straight into its mouth.
And then tentacles. Tentacles.
Okay, you sort of feel the parts of exposed flesh or the parts where the tendrils have pierced your fabric and wrapped onto, and you feel it's like a numbing sensation start to wrap your arms and pulse up you, and then its mouth just crunches down on the sort of upper arm. Is it 18 gonna hit you?
Yes.
Okay, and these teeth just sink in.
Tell my mother.
5 points of damage to you.
In
So that piercing
hell.
just like cuts in. And it's got a reasonable latch on you at the moment. It's not properly grappled, you can tear out.
At least this thing's gonna get me before she will.
Meanwhile, the spear, this one just like careens across the furniture, breaks and tears apart. And as you see these things move around the room, everything makes sense. Everything that you've seen inside of the building makes sense. These things have just been moving all around the ground. They're thousands of tiny legs just tearing up the furniture and the carpeting and everything. The bits and pieces and the lack of corpses, they've obviously all been eaten.
As it runs towards me, I'm nodding like, oh, it all makes sense now.
Well, you guys you've just rushed in. You haven't picked up all of this periphery information. These
learning
guys.
about nature.
So I've learned nothing.
No, this will make sense later.
So swings in and gets 15
No.
with its tentacles lashing out to hit you. They sort of miss,
Shields.
but then
Plate
goes
armor.
in for a bite attack, also missing. He's like, just
Back off.
back off, throw its head to one side with the shield. as
I've
you
seen
sort of,
this game before. I know where I need to stand.
Yes, in my square.
Or the 5 foot behind it. But, those are the 2 options, yes.
And this one just crashes through the furniture, knocking it aside, dashes off and dashes straight across the room to engage.
Come at me.
Fast.
In being in engagement distance with it. It does nothing else this turn. Just moving straight across the room. Things just tear up. What remnants of the banquet table that were in the middle just smash out of the way as it comes into contact with Thea and Saya. And going back to Pearl.
Okay.
This thing is just licking up your arm and shoulder.
Can I try and make a disengage action
Yes.
and disengage primarily from its maw
Yes.
and circle around?
So you
as
can't
well
go around this way
behind
because
it?
this is a wall that's sort of.
Okay, good. Can I go over it?
Yep. You can either go through here
Yep.
if you're doing a disengage action. It won't be able to hit you anyway.
Yep.
And you want to move. You can move 35 feet.
I would move as much as I possibly can.
Which
Maybe
direction?
diving behind that table.
Now
This
you're
one?
leaving.
Yes.
You can get to about here unless you dash.
Uh,
Oh no, you can't because you've taken a disengagement action already. Oh, you
that's
have
a bonus
cunning action.
Yeah, because I'm a noble.
Cool.
And
Can
you
I-
got black
can I
hair.
drag-
Saya's got black hair. I'm probably going to mistake you with this view I've got for Saya.
That's exactly what I expect from a halfling.
I am actually very dressed like very well at the moment. So.
It's true.
I'm
I'm
can
confused. I'm like, what is this family doing here?
Can I drag Thea with me?
They all look the same to you.
Thea, again, you
Well,
would have to
technically not.
take a disengagement action. So yes, Thea could come with you, but they would be disengaged using their they'd definitely be using their movement action.
Yep.
And if you don't use your disengagement action,
You
which
get
is
an
also
extra
forfeiting your action and your movement action for the round, then you're going to get two things attacking you as you try and leave their spaces.
Oh, I'm gonna try and. If I leave, I get two things attacking me.
Unless
No,
you
just
disengage.
disengage.
Unless I just.
Unless you succeed.
But
in
that's
disengage.
pretty much you done for the round at that point.
Otherwise, you're there and they
Yeah, it looks pretty nasty.
bite.
Yeah. I'm sorry. You take me. That's fine.
Yep.
All right, cool. So you guys end up over here.
Cool.
And that is also your action for the turn.
Yep.
So you guys both disengage from the conflict. You rush through his furniture, breaks and smashes aside.
Can I
This is
still
like
take a
Leaving
dust
Saya with all of it.
yes.
Brutal.
Cool. Awesome. I will
So you
just.
used your bonus
Oh,
action
it's
to
getting a little bit
disengage,
further
yes.
away.
Yeah,
Yeah.
taking placement.
The range
I'll
Now
shoot
you're
at the one
confused
that's
'cause
been
there's
shot
like
a
second
few
Saya
times
looking
already.
like
Yes,
thing.
yes. Oh my
Behind
god.
this first Saya looking like thing.
When did Saya learn how to cast mirror image?
I don't think I've ever met so many black-haired elves in my
10.
life.
No, unfortunately the shot flies wide as you sort of like
Here we
duck
go.
under a piece of wood. That's
I'm
sort of
seeing
falls
all
in
black
your direction.
everywhere.
That's it, I'm going goth.
Alright, so
It's the only
Clearly
elves
the way
that
to
matter.
be.
Uh,
action was disengaging.
I'm going to
when
puff out my spores
Who was that? We'll just get.
and then
Yeah.
walk up to the one that's
Double
standing
teamed.
next to Spear and endeavour
Oh.
to let it meet the mighty wrath
pretty
of a
small.
broken stick.
okay. You heft your shillelagh above your head.
Yeah,
It swells in size and fungal content and
You can
fa-dong.
fill the area in front of us.
With a
That
wall.
is a
If I get it.
19.
Slams straight down between his eyes on the top of its head.
Okay.
Roll damage.
Apparently we've got some other distracting people.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11,
They
12,
make it
13
these
damage.
things before carrying out the
Cool.
comes
Yep.
out.
And make a constitution saving throw.
DC
14.
14.
How can an
I-
insect look
Never
smug?
works.
These ones are the same as the other ones. They're resisting my fungus.
Give me a nature roll, Mr. Fungus.
Do I get advantage because I already know because they're resisting my fungus?
No,
Then it's a 10.
but you can suppose whatever you like then. Right. Awesome. Sorry, yeah.
How far are these two creatures from each other?
From each other,
actually
they
very
are
close.
just over 5 feet
Damn.
from each other. Yeah.
Alright, I'm gonna. No one's really watching me at the moment, are they?
No one can see you right now. No.
Alright, I'm gonna cast.
Oh, except for maybe Pearl,
You can move in between them.
whose name you
Uh-huh.
remember. But you know, this is a large creature.
Sorry, you can move in between
This
them.
is. Yeah. So can I just kind of like. Alright,
I'll swap these two for convenience. So look, there you go. Now it's
can I
more
just like
obscure.
kind of like hide behind the creature a little bit and do a sneaky Toll of the Dead on this guy?
Yep, sure.
Yeah.
There's no sneaky toll of the dead.
Boom!
Did you cast that twice this round?
Yeah, Vernon, stop casting.
Is there an echo?
It's doing it on its own now.
Unfortunately, again, it seems to be completely immune to the effects of this spell so far.
Gross. Okay. Then I'm gonna I'm just gonna take the attack of opportunity, and I'm gonna run at peril.
Okay. So you're gonna dive. Okay, so you crawl underneath the bookshelf. She's going to finish me off. And rush over here.
And then
And you're like,
slap
a
her
bird!
hand, and I go. I slap her hand and I cure wounds.
Okay, give me a wisdom saving throw. Pearl,
You can't even high five, guys.
Pearl, give me a wisdom saving throw.
Give you.
It's not great. 10.
Okay, so there's this. You're sort of like, you shot and you turn, and then you see her duck out from underneath the shelf. She's like, so runs up to you again. This sort of like everything just turns into slow motion.
I'm yelling peril as I like.
And then slap this hard, boom, slaps you back into reality.
For the face.
Heals him across the face. Huh?
1d8. Oh, okay. Take 5 healing. No, not even 4 healing.
You tried your best. That hurt a lot less than I thought it would.
Saya.
Sorry.
Spear. No. Yes.
Sorry, I made a terrible mistake. I'll still do that, but I don't cast Cure Wounds. I actually cast Sanctuary.
Okay.
So.
It does the same amount of healing.
No, it does no healing. But essentially.
She doesn't like you that much. She just whacks you for the fun of it.
Whacked you for fun.
It's good to see you with that hard hand on the shoulder.
Any creature within range has to make a wisdom saving throw to attack.
Okay.
And basically, that spell is broken once you attack anything.
Okay. Don't do anything.
But whatever, use it as you will. I don't mind if you break it.
So difficulty, they have disadvantage, you say? Or
So they have to make
wisdom?
a wisdom saving throw, and then on a failed save, they must choose a new target.
Okay. Against you, or everyone
Is
was
it
fighting
against you?
No,
No,
on the
it's
person.
just it's just on peril.
That's
Okay,
exactly how mine works.
So Peril is protected. Cool. So you run over, do Sanctuary on Peril, and Spear.
Awesome. I am going to melee attack this beastie in front of me.
The carrying crawler? Yeah.
Thing. Whatever it is.
Get it.
Try.
Bad horse
Try.
outside.
21.
Awesome. Yes, that hits.
Awesome. I'm gonna smite. So what is it? What's the damage on longsword? 1d8 plus 2d8. And it's got plus 1.
You're up to D8.
Oh, right, d8. Thank you. 4 plus 7 is 11. 13 plus 1, 14.
Plus 1 is what?
I think it's because it's got
But you also had your strength attacks.
what did I count to? 17 plus
Plus
5.
5, so it becomes 6.
Right.
So another 5.
So 23? Yes. 23. 23. Bam!
Augusta says, holy shit!
This is also the first time I've used this sword.
And you just smash.
This is the first time I've used this sword too.
Okay, cool. So draws it. Augustus, you're standing right next to it, and you see this blade, sleek blade. It's got this ruby crescent moon handle coming out in this direction. Sort of draws out, and a radiant red light sort of shines off it as it sort of sweeps through the air. And it just hums past you, smashes into it, cuts in hard. Well, it hits hard into its carapace, and its plates are sundered into at the top part, and a black ooze just sort of spatters out, and one of its legs comes clean off as the blade swings into it.
Is this another one of these, like, evil tools used for good purpose?
Deeds!
Deeds.
Not
I'll
tools.
explain it later. We'll explain it.
Alright.
Those are your talking actions this turn, Bennett.
Is that beast alive or dead?
Alive, yeah. It's still. Its It's like leaking lots of black viscous fluid out of its
I move up
body.
to
Here.
Spears Square.
Immediately.
And then from under the shield and between the greaves, I Fragsteel. Cast Holiday.
Okay, and what's my DC?
12.
It's fine. Again, Toll the Dead. These things just don't seem to be vulnerable to this psychic damage you guys are trying to deal with. And in that, these guys turn around, again smashing this furniture as they sort of roll through it. Coming in, so it's going to make a wisdom check to try and attack Peril, and fails, so instead chooses a new target, which is you.
Come at me, bro.
Cool. So they're both coming at you. So it's 17. Does that one hit you?
Oh, just.
Okay, so 17 and what's the second one? Plus 4. 17 and 13.
No, not on the 13.
Okay, we take 6 points of damage from the first one, and make a Constitution saving throw.
Clearly, my best saving throw.
Don't say that.
That's the
It was done in unison, adorable.
Okay, so it comes in, it lashes on, it grabs you, and the tentacles just wrap around your arm and your torso and around your neck, and you sort of feel this numbing sensation tingling up your spine, and you sort of like lock up. Everything tenses and cramps. You find yourself in intense pain as your muscles spasm and you're paralyzed, fixed to the spot.
So
Which
am I
means its second attack has
paralyzed?
advantage. Yes, you're paralyzed. Which doesn't help it hit you.
It does with advantage, yeah.
The second one, however, does come in and hits you with its first attack and hits you with its second attack.
It's me?
Yeah.
Shit.
So you don't need. You're already poisoned, so it can't poison you again. So there's an additional 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So it does a grand total of 11 points of damage between 2 more attacks.
Alright.
And then this one over here, once more, finds you a bit too much of a hard target spear, and so it picks on Gus, lashing out with its tentacles on 18.
Yes, technically.
Technically, yes. It does 4 points of poison damage, and you make a Constitution saving throw.
These things have a great team.
Nope. That's a 7.
Okay, so again, you feel that your muscles spasming, and you lock up and are now paralyzed. Now, at the end of each of your turns, you can make a Constitution saving throw to see if it wears off, but that'll be end of your next turn. And it attacks you now with advantage. Does... Because you're prone? Plus 4. Does 16 hit you?
No.
Alright, cool. Well, then it misses even though it has advantage. Alright, cool. And then we jump to top of the round, which is Peril.
Why is the top of the round?
Well, not that was them at the top of the round.
Right.
So, Peril?
Okay, cool. I'm going to scream out, no! Even if she's come for me, she will not fall you. I'm gonna use my disengage action to flank this thing and shoot it in what approximates its back
Okay, cool.
of what approximates its head.
So, as you duck away, disengage, duck
You
away
don't
from
need
it.
to disengage because you're not within 5 feet of the...
But if he wants to shoot it without being a disadvantage, he needs to be away from it.
Excellent. 12.
Okay, cool. No, that misses. So you're like, so it shoots off into ricochets through the room, adds to another set of arrows that are sticking into the wainscoting on the far wall. Thea.
I'm going to use a defensive flourish, and I'm going to take one of my daggers and stab the one that's currently wrapping its tentacles around this dark-haired lady, who
Yep.
seems like she was doing something to protect us. I'm
Yep.
going to stab it in the eye.
Okay, awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah, well, one of the eye. The closest eye.
Alright, you just swing
We need
across. It
practice
just
of this.
Yeah, like the dice rolling part. I don't
The-
think it get any better.
back end of its body sort of lashes around, and a couple of its little legs just sort of like hook in behind your knee, and you sort of like stumble and lose your footing as you attempt to go and slap it, and it just like bends and bounces off the chitinous plates.
It's gonna give me some extra armor class though.
Oh, good.
Yeah, because I'll need it.
You will need it. Alright, and Gus. Oh, you're paralyzed, so at the end of your round,
That is a 19.
you recover from the poisoned effects.
Oh no, I don't think I get to hurt myself.
Saya, you can make a
should do the
constitution
same.
saving throw at the end of your turn.
10?
No, you are still paralyzed.
Alright.
Unfortunately. Okay, and Spear. You look next to you and you see Gus is like starts pumping his hands to push blood through his body.
So all three of them are still okay.
All three of them are still up. This one is. These two are very like you see. Like this one's missing an eye and is leaking fluid out of its head. This one you cut off two of its front legs and it's black fluid is just gushing out of it.
I'm gonna move over to the other two.
Yeah,
and
so
if
you
it-
just like pass through Gus, just step around Gus, and do you want to get to this point or
Yeah.
just here?
Get that one.
Get to about there.
Because we did a
It
great
takes
job.
an attack of opportunity. It actually hits you
Oh wow!
on a 24,
Oh.
Jeez. He wanted it more.
Don't get paralyzed.
and
Please
it does
don't.
6 points of damage to you. It lashes out with its tentacles, and you make a Constitution saving
It's
throw.
like a one-game campaign, right?
Constitution, 19.
You're fine.
I
You
am
take
fine.
the damage, take it in your stride, get over here, and you've got an action.
Okay, I'm gonna attack the closest thing. I'm gonna try and smite it too.
You can choose to smite once you know you've
Yeah, I know.
So you
what's
have
in
one
it.
that's got its head sort of half split open,
Finish
with like
that one.
quite damaged, and then one that seems completely healthy.
Okay, I'll just attack the one that's completely damaged then.
Cool.
The one that's damaged. So that's 19,
That hits.
and
You know, if these guys are in squad, at least I'll die happy.
6. Wait a minute, am I rolling a d8 for longsword? Yeah,
Yeah,
Hmm.
D8.
Yeah, your D8 is
D10.
lost. That's right.
below it for some reason.
D8
Okay,
Oh,
plus
that's
five.
with 2 hands.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I
Supposed
do
to
have 2 hands. 7
Gotcha.
damage
Cool. All right.
on this occasion.
You are plus 6 damage, so that would be.
Oh, is it plus 6?
9.
9 damage.
Oh, sorry, no, that's.
No, it's
Yeah, plus
3. Yeah, it's
Sorry.
yeah.
Smite,
7.
then we
7
smite
damage. I was right.
What's that? That's proficiency.
Smite it.
Are you smiting?
Yeah, I'll smite
Smite
it.
it good.
I'll smite it then.
Yep.
So that's 2 more.
The creeper comes up. You wanna smite
You're
it?
putting it first on spell.
Yeah, so that's additional 8 radiant damage.
Okay.
We're in the middle of them now.
Okay,
Just
so
not paralyzed. This would be
you
great.
jump out and finish it.
Oh, okay, so I run up and I take a hit on the way and I leap into the air, sword held high. And
Radiant red energy.
radiant red and crimson comes down as I land straight into its skull and cleave
Its head
its
clean
head.
off.
Yeah.
These look like the good guys
Its
to me.
head sort of pops off and falls straight to the ground at Saya's feet, and the rest of its body just like twitching and rolling into the side.
I hope so.
Ah! And I scream out all of the fear and energy that Steve has left me with after this torturous journey here.
See, pumped up with adrenaline, ready for the
That's
battle.
All right, awesome. Bernard.
I cast Toll of the Dead on the one that's in front of me. In my new. I'm not. No, don't roll that. I've seen how it goes.
Cool. And what does it roll?
It rolls a 6.
Oh, well, that's better than the 2 that it rolled. That's alright. Roll damage. It's already been damaged, this one, so.
6 points damage.
Okay. So it's like. So you see it sort of like. Starts pumping the viscous fluid a little bit faster through its body as it sort of gets nervous tension, and this blood just starts oozing out from the various cracks beneath it, between its chitinous plates. and it swings around and
Sorry, can I use my reaction out of turn?
You can react to any trigger that the reaction will trigger off.
It needs to make a Constitution saving throw.
so what does it say? You use
is-
a reaction once per turn.
Yeah, I didn't use it this turn because I was paralyzed,
Mhm.
but I'm no longer paralyzed. It means I have my actions.
Yep.
But it is within 10 feet of me,
Mhm.
which means I can trigger my spells.
Yeah, go. How much damage does it do?
Is it a bonus or a reaction?
Reaction
And so
To what?
to being within 10 feet of me.
So anytime he's within
Yeah.
once per
Anytime
once per
something
round.
starts its turn or moves within 10 feet of me, I can use my reaction to make it do a Constitution saving throw.
That's
as
a pretty
my-
sweet trigger.
Yes,
my
you better
spells
watch
like-
out, Bernard.
Pretty sweet trigger.
And it makes a saving throw.
Yep,
Or
Constitution saving throw for DC 14.
C14. Yeah, it fails.
Finally,
Yay! 1 damage!
take that.
I'm starting to crack them.
That's your first damage from the spores,
No,
man.
second.
That's the first.
This is the second. There's one other time when
It
In 5
actually
games.
it actually looks like it's starting to like cake
for
up the
12
various
hours or
wounds
more.
as these spores just sort of start building up on the various wounds that are already around it and around its eye sockets as it sort of leans back and then just lashes out at you. So it swings in, and unless you... Oh, that's +8, so 15.
No,
And then goes in for a bite attack, also missing.
those spores have got in its eyes. Very itchy.
It then...
This is at one point.
It's gonna need
Look
to
at allergies.
As you spore, I'm just, Jesus, man, I'm right here!
Like, why is it getting cloudy?
It then makes a movement action, and you guys, it sort of goes, it smashes, sort of like riles up and then descends into the ground and through the floorboards. And as it disappears through the floorboards underneath this building, you guys both can make attacks of opportunity.
Oh, did you use your reaction?
If it's not attacking,
Oh,
you can
Oh
just
yeah,
sorry.
use your action.
Oh no, that was last turn though.
No,
That's
that was
right,
right
just
now.
now.
You
No,
just used it
But that's
then.
but before it took its turn.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
It was
that's true.
last turn, so now
Yeah,
it,
that
it's
Framed by you.
What?
Reactions are
Max
framed
that
by you.
shit.
So like last
No,
turn,
that was
I
last
paralyzed
round.
Before it took its turn, before that round ended, I
Round.
used my reaction. New round, new reaction.
He's not lying.
Your new turn, new reaction.
It's fine. Do it.
That's the spirit.
Yay! Yeah, no, that's a 9.
okay.
Plus 6 is 15.
Oh, that hits it as it sort of like attempts to go under.
Kick it. A bit.
So for hang on, that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 damage.
Okay, it sort of like is going down. You're like, oh, Shillelagh! Whack! And you hear this crack, crack, crack as it's like halfway down, and your Shillelagh just cracks into the side of it, and there's this sickening plop, pop, an explosion as its plates give way, and the Shillelagh just like caves in through its body. The top half, the bottom half of its torso, just like spinning around wildly on the floor as the bottom falls into the abyss below.
Oh, that's okay, Bernard. The spores are a problem, but like flying and carrying is fine.
You did that too! You did both of those things!
Awesome. And then this one is not very happy at the approach of Saya. Not Saya, Spear.
So
I'm not
We're
doing
starting with S,
anything.
please.
The Gothic elves are no
No,
problem, it's the blonde paladin that's actually wrecking.
And goes to attack you, Spear, on a 25.
Oh my
Wow,
god.
geez.
It's got your number.
Likes you, so it's doing 6 points of damage. And you make a Constitution saving throw.
How is it 25 on a crit? It's frightening.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not rolling natural 20s at least.
Yeah.
Well, that's
that's
something.
Plus
Thank you.
8 to hit.
They are
It actually wasn't 25, it was on a 19, that's 27.
17?
17, yeah, you're fine. Again, the poison just doesn't seem to go into your body as this radiant energy is protecting you.
Okay.
The blessings of Bahamut must be upon you this day. Alright, cool. And then it goes to attack you again with a bite, which it misses on 12. 14, sorry. Okay, it is at this point that
steed enters the fray.
So Pearl,
Yes.
you're sort of standing in the corner and you feel this rumbling sound, and hear this crack, 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 smash, smash, smash. And Augustus and Bernard, you hear the same thing as this furniture pushes aside and this floor just gives away and the floor gives way. And this one just sort of like tears up through the floor, rushing over here. This one tears up through the floor and comes over here and now attacks you both. So over this side, tentacles lash out. Missing? Oh, well, that's actually not true. 17.
No.
Sanctuary.
Sanctuary. So he's makes a wisdom saving
Not
throw. Difficulty.
Will not attack successfully.
Difficulty.
Sanctuary is 13.
All right, cool. So it sort of goes to attack you and it's like literally rising up above you, hovering in this like. And this one rushes over and is gonna 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Goes for the largest target. It doesn't make sense. It goes for the smallest target. It's easier to carry away. Lashing out with
Delicious,
tentacles. So that's
Not gristly.
That one's moldy.
I'm off.
Although they're carrion crawlers, they're actually more interested in decaying objects. But
You got
14.
more of it on
That
you.
delicious
Does
mushroom
not hit.
umami.
Okay, and then comes in for a bite attack. 15.
Satisfying.
Does not hit.
Wow.
That's exactly his armor class.
Mage armor for the win.
Yeah, mage armor for the win. All right,
That's
cool.
why I've got only Toll of the Dead. Is it?
And then we go back to Pearl.
Let's get out of here! Fall back! Fall back! I'll make a free disengage action
Yes.
and run and try and drag, Thea to an exit. So exits are
Here
near me.
and
Oh,
here.
jeez, there's no real good
There is no
options.
exit.
I'm going to jump behind this table instead, so you can get to Thea with your 30 feet movement.
Yep, perfect.
I'd rather be killed by an assassin than these giant death slugs.
Frankly, I'd rather be killed by none of them,
He's a wise man.
or at least outside, because this is gross.
Okay, and you're shooting at?
on the way, the one away. Actually, no, the one near.
Well, you'll get a sneak attack bonus if you shoot that one or that one.
I'm totally doing that one. Not that I've hit anything so far. And 19, nice.
Finally.
Far out.
Jeez.
I know. It's not a great hit though. 10.
Cool. And Thea.
Ah, I'm going to use my bardic inspiration, which you are providing for me, because you are going to give me an amazing tale that I can next tell around the campfire. If you know,
Sounds like me.
this red fire-wielding, amazing battler. So you can have some
No one
bardic
ever talks
inspiration
about
right
the
Awesome.
there. And then I'm going to
Let's talk about
throw a
the
dagger.
I said you were satisfying.
Oh, no, I'm really close to the other one, aren't I?
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
Millie,
just
so
going to
you'll
go for
have
some more stabbing
disadvantage on
again.
hit that.
Unless you want to step away, but
No, I think I need
Stab.
to like have a stabby stab.
Okay.
I'm not really successful at this whole, stabby stab. Oh, maybe, maybe
Pretty good there.
20.
Finally
That
getting
hits.
the hang of this.
Yay! Yeah, and then I roll the littlest dice. Oh, 3 though. 3
The
plus
biggest numbers.
5, 8.
That's right.
cool. Yeah, it's just thrust the rapier up. It goes like in between the chitinous plates and wiggles around inside. It's not very happy
Sorry,
about
I
it.
just used
Tell you that much.
bardic inspiration,
Augustus.
because
Okay.
That counts as bonus actions. always.
Not to be speciesist, but didn't I just kill you?
the dead body of this one is like lying there. This is an entirely new one, fresh from the fresh. It's like ripped up through the ground and come back in. It's
It made its own hole, did it?
yeah. It looked like the floor seems to be damaged in places. Regardless, it's just tearing up through the already damaged surface.
I would get just take a quick look around. How are people looking?
Slug it
I am.
on.
Like in pain?
Bleedy.
I'm
Very
like,
bleeding.
I'm like, look at the guy. Look at this. I'm like,
Emotionally.
like,
Is it
this is-
cheat time?
like maybe it's time for the big buddy. So I'm gonna be like, I point at the carrying floor. And I'm just like, I'm gonna get back to you, and I will summon the big buddy.
Okay, what is a big buddy?
What is
Big
that?
buddy.
Is this sheepy?
This, yes, also known as sheepy because that was the model we used last time.
I was gonna
But
say,
it's not a
sheepy,
sheep.
yay, sheepy!
It's the giant glowing mushroom. It's not a sheep. I am going to summon the giant glowing
I'm
buddy.
done for nowsies.
Yep.
Just behind Spear,
Yep.
and then
Sucked it all
march
dry.
buddy through
It's okay.
all the peeps.
Woo! Buddy cannot be attacked, correct?
Buddy cannot be attacked.
Okay, so through how far does Buddy move?
30 feet per round.
Gee whiz.
Wow,
that's
that is a
intense.
vast imaginary mushroom.
Okay, so you can get everybody. So 1, 2, 3, 4 all get D6 health revived.
Oh,
Can somebody competent roll
I don't
this?
even.
No,
Someone keep
2,
putting me out of the
thanks.
battle.
Thanks, buddy.
3.
Oh, that was my roll.
Puts me up to a nice round,
2.
not anything good.
Yeah, you know. Cool. Saya.
I'm powerless. So
Or is there a movement action you want to take, Gus?
No, because it'll just attack me.
That's
but it only gets one attack, doesn't it?
That's correct.
Is it the paralyzing one?
It chooses.
Nah, it's fine.
No,
That's it? You're
No.
done?
no, I'm still paralyzed.
Oh, yeah, of course. You are still paralyzed. Yay! Alright, cool. So, Spear.
Right, where am I? What's happening?
You're right here. You've just cut the head off this one, and now you're turning around. This one is still here.
Okay.
It's been damaged a little bit, but it still seems to be quite healthy.
Oh, sorry. Can you? Buddy goes back next to the actual creature itself, so people can move through him without provoking attack of opportunity.
You can get to about there.
No, like back towards the. Because I can actually just leave him in someone's square as well. So I'll
Okay.
just like yeah.
30. Yes, you want to go there. That's the
Yep.
best you
Perfect.
can. Yeah, you'll have enough to get there.
So where possible, remember that clicks on my round and your round.
So if you move through this at any point during your movement, then you'll gain D6 health.
Fantastic.
At which point it is Spear.
Okay, I'm going to take a swing at this closest slug thing.
Mhm.
And I'm going to miss.
Welcome to the club.
Well, I rolled a 40.
That hits.
Oh, it hits! Woo! Wow.
They're big and kind of a little slow, so you know.
You're a little squishy.
And I hit it for 8. Not
Squishy.
Not very
6 is
8 plus 3, I believe.
8
Plus the
plus
4
4,
because it's.
right, 12.
I'm gonna
Oh, like,
punch in your weapon.
While
and
also
other
being a
things
bit
that you have.
tentacly.
So 12 damage.
Cool. Yep.
Take that.
Awesome.
Not smiting, or you run out of
No,
slots?
I've only got 1 slot left, and I'd rather
Yeah, okay.
hold on to it.
Well, that's you, Bernard.
It's a me. Alrighty. I'm in a bad spot.
Suddenly Italian.
I'm going to cast
Anybody gets away with this?
bonfire under it. Make a dex save.
Okay, so it's just broken a bunch of wood. Again, I'm going to use this hilarious little fire guy right here. I still need to make a thing. You cast a bonfire right there, and it makes a dex save. DC?
12, I think, is my DC for all my
Yeah,
spells.
no, it's fine. So it just rolls out of the way and comes around here, still maintaining 5 feet from you.
Yep.
And now there's a fire kind of in the doorway.
Mhm.
A bonfire.
And I move, provoking.
Yep. 2.
Go to mushroom.
Ah. So you can move through him and through the... Do you want to just like run through a square, then you'll only provoke against one creature?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Well, it's only leaving that one. I mean, how many other creatures are threatened by?
Well, this one is if you move through it into... Well, you're going to be moving into its space anyway.
It's only when you leave a space.
Yeah,
that's
true.
true.
Alright, so you just get to the money, like reaching out your hand and tag in for the d6 damage. But it does attempt to hit you at 17, so that can hit
Yes.
Not when I trigger my shield as a reaction. Can I?
Yes.
you. Yeah, so you trigger your mage shield as mage arm, well, your shield as a reaction.
Yep.
Spell goes off.
Yep. My AC is now 20.
run through. Sort of tentacles lash off as blue electric light just shines off the halfling as it dashes across the room. Could you please give a physical description of the small halfling that these two can now see for the first time clearly?
Ooh.
Ordinarily, I look like a plain, portly, middle-aged, nondescript halfling. Mutton chops and a piece of straw sticking in my mouth, and braces and leather shorts and knee-high socks. Classic halfling. Right now, however, that halfling is dressed in magical undergarments and some pimpin' clothes, and I look like a
Totally baller.
I would have been a little intimidated by the goth elf thing and all of your, fanciness, but I'm standing
you're
here
so
like
fancy now.
I feel like, yeah, I've gone like full Danny DeVito mode. I'm like feeling very pimp.
Yeah, nice.
Do you have an
I
egg?
didn't get to describe myself.
It is a triangle.
Well, that's a very good point. And obviously, the woman wore a armor-clad figure who was rushed off, and chopped the head off this carrion crawler that was attacking Saria. Yes, spear.
Oh, Spear. So Spear is at this point resplendent in quite fine, white, tailored clothing and silver jewelry, as well as a fur coat, which seems at
Well, on
odds.
top of that clothing, you're still
yeah,
wearing your
I'm
beat
still
up
wearing my paladin. It's true, right? I'm still in my
armor,
plate armor. So
chain and plate
it's quite a
combination.
strange combination of this kind of very fine tailored white dress with plate armor atop it and a cloak.
Over the top.
Yeah.
So you got like mink sticking out through
And her hair is braided, but it was an attempt at braiding and it didn't quite work. And she's carrying, and she's pretty average build, but quite broad and clearly muscular. She has a shield with a gleaming platinum dragon on it and a gold red gleaming sword. And she's blonde, messily braided hair and grey eyes.
You're not sure how to take the dress and demeanor of this
It's actually
particular
quite
woman.
chic. The
Yeah.
contrast between the beat up.
If
Yeah.
that's how you want to read it, then
Yeah,
yes.
there's a uniqueness
Derelict.
to it.
But it's only
you
been
know?
chic for the last 2.5 weeks.
Yeah.
It'll be unchic again tomorrow.
It's got about half a week to run. Then we need to talk.
I need some help with my braids.
I could totally help you
I
there.
know, I've been looking for some.
I was helping. This is
So Bernard runs across, dashes, slaps the mushroom, and at which point these creatures move to act. So this one moves out of the way of the fire and then
It needs
comes
to make
at you
another
again.
dex save if it's still in the square.
No, it's not. It moved out of the way of the square.
Uh,
Does it, when it makes the dex save, does it move out of the bonfire?
uh,
Or does it stay in the bonfire dancing around?
You create a ground
Just
that's on a
assumed it
square.
went
Any
flame.
creature in the bonfire's space must take a dexterity save or take the damage. It doesn't say if it moves out of the space. A creature must also make a saving throw when it moves into the bonfire space for the first time or ends its turn there. So I can
Okay,
actually
cool.
just move out without
So
any
in its turn,
problem.
so it's made the save, in its turn, it shuffles around and makes an attack again at you, Gus. Misses, I'm assuming, on 11, and then it tries to bite you on a 15. No. Over here, this one is looking around, it's taking a bit of damage, it's feeling a bit cagey, and it sees a small, opportune creature running in its way, and so it goes to grab. It's actually going to attempt to grapple you in its tentacles. Bernard?
A grapple check.
Yep, so that's 24? Or 22, sorry.
On its acrobatics,
On its grapple, attack roll.
it's making an attack
It's
roll.
an attack roll, yeah.
Okay. So that hits my armor class.
Yeah,
Is
cool.
That, is
Awesome.
that
That's
how you
what
roll
I'm
the
asking.
grapple? Yeah. Okay.
So it makes its attack roll, hits you.
AC is 20.
Yeah, well, that's fine. It grabs you, and then puts a bite in while you're there.
Can I resist the grapple at all?
Yeah, strength.
Good luck.
8.
Close though.
But I'm.
Get in there. Tiring it out.
So it grabs you. It tries to do some damage with a bite. Has advantage on that because you grapple, but doesn't. And then it runs, leaves all these squares. So that is Thea. Sayu, you're still paralyzed. but Spear, you all get to make attacks of opportunity. As it rushes across and dives down this hole.
It says half movement.
Half movement from?
More than 2 sizes larger than
Yeah. This is small.
I rolled
It's
crit.
yeah.
Ooh.
It only needs to be
Fine hit.
Natural 20. Yeah.
Natural 20, jeez.
Yeah.
All right, so it grabs you and it grabs you in its little tentacles, like its tentacles, lifts you up. Its front 2 legs also grip onto you, and then it tries to carry you away. And then Spear, you just like jump up behind it, swing it with the sword, roll damage.
Need bardic inspiration.
So you do have bardic
Oh, you rolled
inspiration.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I rolled a crit.
This is interesting. Now, pay in mind, you can now choose to smite with that crit because all of those dice are double 2.
Yeah, well, I rolled that. Yeah. So each dice is doubled, is that right?
That's correct.
2.
No. You roll double the number of dice. So the
Oh,
1
okay.
became a 1 and a 3. So that's the
Wait a minute. So instead of rolling 3 dice, I'm rolling 6 dice. Is that what's
68
happening?
plus the regular number. Yes.
Okay, so 1 and
1 and 3.
yeah,
4. 7.
7 is
12.
12 is 17.
And then no, that's your 6.
Wasn't that 5?
Oh, sorry, that's 5.
Sorry.
I had the 6th finger removed.
I didn't know you were from Tasmania.
So 23 is 27.
Okay, it grabs you up in its tendrils, turns to move away, and before Fifi is like, ah! And then you just like jump on the back of it, plunge your sword downward through its skull, impaling it into the ground.
Into
Its
the
little
ground, I love
tendrils
it.
twitch and drop Bernard as it falls to the ground dead.
I'll grab you by the hand. Are you alright?
So not alright. I'm grabbing onto you. I'm not letting go. I'm not letting go.
So stay in my square. Stay in my square.
Oh.
Alright. So, and this one, just seeing as its friend's gone down, it's going to come so 15 feet this way, and it just tries to grab it with his tendrils, fails, grabs Saya with its legs, and then goes back and dives into the hole.
No!
Wait, does it only have half movement because I'm...
You
bigger?
are only 1 size less, so it goes over and grabs you and starts to run away.
Yeah.
But yes, it's going for its prey. And that means we're back to...
Alright, I'll drop my bow and run on over, draw something a little more stabby and dive onto its back.
Okay, give me an acrobatics roll, Mr. Elf.
You're saving her now. You've come around.
Well, I'm conflicted. 13.
Alright, cool. Yeah, it's not moving particularly quickly at the moment. It's dragging Saya's body. But yeah, you straddle its back. And yeah, you make an attack.
Excellent. Does this classify for sneak attack at all?
It's definitely not expecting it. So I'll say yes. Yeah, because... Oh,
Do I get advantage on this?
you don't get
Which is a
advantage
more
on it.
pertinent
I've
question.
already given you sneak attack.
You need new dice too.
I do need you dice. I get a 9.
That is unfortunately not enough. And that is you done. Thea,
I tried my best.
No, thank
Thea,
you.
your half brother or step brother has just leapt on the back of a writhing chitinous beast,
Right, well, I better
dragging
train him,
his childhood crush away.
which we may not have talked about on the road. All right.
You guys did spend a lot of time getting very, very drunk together. Just saying.
All right, I'm going to.
And they got away!
And now she's being taken away.
What's happening?
I'm going to attempt to use the defensive flourish again. Actually, I should probably give some more bardic inspiration to other people because clearly my roll is not doing a great job. Neither are yours.
Does it help to hit rolls?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can use it
That'd
for
be
anything.
great.
All right. You can save her! I know how much she means to you! And then I'm gonna
Good
charge
thing she's
over.
paralyzed. Well, no,
Paralyzed,
she's
not
not deaf.
deaf.
I don't know these things. And then I'm gonna go
Oh, this is so
stab
embarrassing.
the giant death slug too.
Just what we would have wanted.
Are you gonna throw
Yeah.
daggers?
Actually, because can I run to get there in time?
Yeah, easy.
And stab it while, shouting out about how much, 1.
Oh, you should have inspired yourself.
That's something saved for later. Alright, so you rush over and...
We're great. We're
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
your brother is like, whoa! You're like, stab my brother, decisions. The moment was past. Alright, so, Augustus. It's a bonfire
Oh yeah, that's a
burning here.
warm.
It was nice and warm, yeah.
I'm going to do the buddy run. So tap on those two first.
Okay, so we're hitting D6 on Bernard, D6 on Sire Spear.
And then I'll, how far can he get back up the end?
D6.
You can get to about there.
There's several of us here.
Well, the only one I can get to is you. So it
I
has-
have no damage.
well,
People keep pushing me out of the way, or coming in and doing more fancy things, and becoming the opportunity attack.
I'm going to
It's better than being the bait.
personally
That's
move
true.
around
I may as
to
well
this
use
way?
the spear.
Yep.
There we go. Yep. And endeavour to put the proverbial boot in. Natural 20.
Oh,
Yes!
Straight in the
Saved our
thorax.
crits for the end of the fight.
So that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 15 damage.
Big hit.
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah. Thump. Some cracks opening its exoskeleton. Alright. And are you done?
Yes.
So, yeah. End of your turn.
20!
Must be all the movement of your bodies. It's trying to drag you away. Finally, at the end of this turn, to shake it off when you feel life coming back to your limbs, even though the blinding headache and the pain behind your eyes is searing through your body. Spear.
Destroy it from the inside.
Oh, so what? We have 1 left or 2 left,
This one, there's 2 left, and they both seem reasonably healthy.
and one's trying to drag away a friend.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna run at that one.
There's plenty of space on the back.
Are you within 5 feet? Not quite. So you dash across here.
Yep, I'm gonna take a whack at it. It's a 23.
Yep, that
And-
hits.
Cool. I have no spell slots left. Where's the D? Here. And that's for 6 damage.
Did you happen to touch Buddy on the way?
Yeah, you
course, it's
can
right there.
very easily.
Everyone touches body on the
Okay.
way.
Touch that Buddy.
I forgot to touch
5.
the
If I can
save.
get to my
Nice.
character sheet, then I'll be able to do all that.
Cool. Awesome.
5 plus 5 health at this point. And yes, cool.
Bernard.
Yeah, I think I'm going to try and shut off the escape. You're still held by it, right? Even though you're no longer paralyzed. So
That's
I'm
correct.
going to drop the bonfire 5 foot down the hole. So it's like just sitting
Down here.
Yep.
Okay, cool. The range?
The range on the thing is like 60, 120 feet, something like that. 60 foot range.
Yeah, cool. Just alright, so you kind of make it happen here and it just like drops down a few feet. So you're not sure, you can't see the location beneath there.
Yeah.
But yeah, you on the edge of the hole, sets fire.
Mm-hmm.
And you see this thing visibly recoiling from it.
Well, the fire fills a 5 foot cube. I presume it means I can
Really
place it
big
15
bonfire.
feet in the air if I want to.
Technically, yeah.
It's like a Minecraft.
Mm.
It's like a Minecraft cube of
Pick it up
fire.
and walk away with
Put it
it.
on.
Put it here, put it there. It's very useful, really.
Yeah, except the DC's easy.
Okay, well, this thing sort of looks at it, sees the fire, starts to freak out a bit as you're riding it. It actually is going to just make an attack on you because it's got you grappled. It's just,
there.
it's all. I think that's an auto hit. Is that correct?
No.
No. So it's gonna 15, is that going to hit you, sorry?
Okay. Sorry?
15?
15. Is my shield useful?
Are you carrying your shield?
Yes, it's equipped.
Of course it's useful.
Then, no, it does not hit
Great.
me.
And it attempts to bite you, which it fails. It then drops you, feeling that you're wiggling, and attempts to move over this way.
You're still riding.
Yes, you are still riding it.
June-like, isn't it?
It actually is going to get over here, and then it's going to make an acrobatics roll, which it fails, because it's going to try and roll sideways.
Look,
just
welcome
get
to
you
the
up.
club, beastie.
Spear, you get to make an attack of opportunity as it moves away from you.
That's to you.
We'll punish that.
Oh, yeah, attack of opportunity.
As do you, yeah.
23.
Kick it on the way out.
Unless you have the more custom.
Which I don't know.
I
So,
don't-
actually, I can unarmed strike it. I can't counter
I
it.
did 9
can I?
damage.
No.
You're not
Sorry?
carrying
9 damage.
anything in your hand?
No, because I used my shield. I wanted the AC. It's just
What if the other
casting
hand- oh, 'cause you can't
spells.
walk custom.
Like a knuckle
So-
duster.
Punch it.
Yeah,
Punch it for
I'll
like your
unarmed.
damage.
I'll unarmed strike it. Nope.
Like,
Oh, that's okay because the damage is 0 anyway.
Give it a pat.
oh, no. You should get a strength -1.
Yes.
So you have like -1 strength and -1 intelligence.
Yeah, so that's probably the sort of
Hold
person
on,
that
let
would
me
punch
check.
with 0 damage.
It's more about the statement.
Alright, regardless.
It was like the
missed
psychological
anyway.
attack she did against you on the way in.
If only you had -2 damage, then you'd be like the tissue massage. You'd just like, yeah,
This
lower,
one over
lower.
here
Technically.
is going to try and escape from you and dive down this hole.
Yep. I will take an attack of opportunity. It's going to hit. 17 on the die.
Yep.
That is 4, 5, 6, 7 damage.
Yep, so it takes the damage and it escapes down the hole.
Constitution saving throw.
11.
Incorrect. I cracked the code now. For 1 damage!
Alright, awesome, I'll bank that for later.
It'll have lung problems later.
Yeah, like, what's good? Oh,
Alright,
Slow
so we got
Round
some
1.
damage on this guy as he was running away, and he's still in the room. So,
and I'll... Yeah, sorry.
this guy seems to be trying to get to this hole at this point. Do you guys want it? Would not be much effort for you guys at this point
If
to just
not-
concentrate all of your energy on it and
Like,
kill it before
I'm
it makes it
killing
down the
this
hole,
thing.
or let it escape.
Oh, murder.
Death.
Okay, cool. You destroy the natural carrion beast.
Yeah.
It's a
Crunch,
natural
crunch,
beast,
Actually,
why?
there was some wounds
It's part
here.
of the
I
ecosystem
got
and it's
hands
spore
on.
resistant.
Do you know what I'm actually gonna
Yeah, I
do?
don't like that last bit.
All right, and everything has left. You sort of listening down the holes. It sounds like there could be more of these creatures, or something like that, further down there. But considering that you figure there's probably only so many in this building.
Everyone be quiet for a second. I turn to Peril.
Are you
Are
guys
you
related?
guys related?
What?
Are you here to kill it? Kill me?
Are you here to kill
Are
her?
you having this conversation in Elvish?
Is this
And
a
punish
jealous
me.
lover
Hold on.
thing?
Alright.
Wait, is this a jealous sister lover thing?
You shut up.
Elves
you,
have sex with their sisters?
you shut up.
I've never seen so many dark-haired elves.
And then I speak in like Elvish.
That's ignorant, by the way.
I am a country bumpkin. Like,
This like a lot of this is very
Grew up in a
prejudiced.
cave.
And I speak in Elvish.
Do I pick up any of these words?
The Elvish words.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you can give me an intelligence roll.
The ones that are
DC
mostly
15.
swearing.
Yeah, not fuck. 3.
you're just like, why do I look so much like her?
I'm nodding like I do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're
because
trying.
I really want to look, like I totally know this whole Elvish thing.
Oh, this is Burn. So this is. So he's dressed you to look like her. This is weird. This shit is weird. Oof. I'm just hanging over with Spear going, "Do you think it, bro?"
Hey,
Maybe
Gus.
I walk back
Ignore-
outside, grab a bottle of wine, come back in, I'm like,
Let's go for show.
For starters, we look nothing alike.
Nothing. Alike.
What-
But
No.
Irrelevant. Everyone shut up.
You know, it's just that all dark-haired elves look the same
So
to
speaking
me.
Elvish, what are you doing here?
Flick up the table.
What are you doing
What do you
here?
mean? What am I doing here? I think like
You're in a temple.
you're in some boat somewhere.
Well, clearly not.
Well, clearly I'm not in a temple.
So, just give me 1 second here. Pearl, when you passed through the temple on your way here, did you think to ask after Saya?
On the side, yeah, sure.
But to make
No
it look
one
like you're not
really wanted to talk about
made me
Saya at all. And when you mentioned the name, they seemed to know about Saya, but nobody said anything about Saya.
It smells very pinky.
And there was one other person who was notably missing, a senior lecturer by the name of
Aluin.
Aluin.
Aluin Quirin.
What am I looking for?
What-
Just these 2 weeks or something.
Look, I'm here helping my half-sister
Like some
make
level.
something of herself.
Did you?
You may notice the little family mark.
Yeah. Did you always have a half sister?
Well, not always,
Well,
clearly. Look how young she is.
Okay, she is quite little.
She's like an
Mine's sub
infant.
30.
So she looks like
My dad, look, you can just say it.
no.
It
I-
turns out he was a total whore.
Okay, but I'm saying that
Speaking of
she's
little franchise families.
she's half elf, right?
Is this?
Yes.
Are they talking about you in
And,
Elvish?
like,
and you
I
don't-
hear my name every so often.
I wouldn't have thought your family would go for that.
Well, it turns out my dad goes for just about anything.
But not.
Went for just what? Yeah,
What'd she say?
it's fine. She's not here to kill us, as far as I can tell yet.
Lovely to meet you. You seem lovely.
This is
It's-
Thea.
You killed
Thea.
Thea?
This is Saya.
I don't kill anyone, and hi, yes, I'm Saya.
So-
Well, I wouldn't say anything.
Saya, you know from your understanding of elf society, elf high society in particular, that moon elves have magical markings, not quite a birthmark, not quite a tattoo, but they are symbols nonetheless that appear on the skin that denote the head of family by lineage, and they're passed down to the new head of the family as foretold by prophecy when the previous head of the family dies. You've never heard of that happening to a half-elf before. And surely there would be some complications around that small
Yeah.
issue.
So,
So
half elves. I'm sure your mum isn't thrilled.
Aren't you a half elf? Sorry.
Just speaking of mum, just to clear things up, have you been sent by my mum to kill?
Why would I?
Just to clear it up.
I'm a
This one's really
cleric. I'm
All this time I
not
thought
designed for killing.
Tell that to half the clerics in the
So
world.
Spear is just quietly creeping closer to them just to get near her braids. She's
Yeah.
just kind of like
Okay, so give me a perception roll.
perception.
The braids are an illusion.
15.
And I'm casting a spell, Herbie. I need to know what's going on. So I'm casting comprehend languages.
Okay, cool. Then
Drop
everything
in
they're
the
saying,
slot.
you understand. Pearl,
I'm just.
do
I'm
you
not
do your
pretending.
sister's braids?
Somebody's got to.
Okay, good. Just making
She
sure.
never learned.
Oh, they're amazing.
Braids?
Yeah, she does them human style if she's left to her own devices.
Yeah, well. I was
And you
left-
really are trying to like blend
are
into,
trying,
embrace
really.
your family. So
These are looking really good these days.
Yes, they are!
I grab you. I'm giving you my
I'm
You're
like
telepathy.
welcome.
I'm like just staring at her braids right now. Just like creeped up. These guys are still arguing in
Are
some
you
language
paying
I don't
attention? She's looking for
understand.
braids.
For some reason they think they're better than us.
I think this is a
Anyways,
soap opera.
check out these braids.
Are you watching this?
Okay.
Can you understand them? They're not even related. I think they're ex-boyfriend and girlfriend. I don't know what her story is. It's like totally weird.
But
There's still telepathy through the.
her braid. But more seriously, her tattoo. There's no way. Is that real?
You can try and rub it off. Mum certainly did.
All right. So I'm guessing you're not as close with the family anymore.
Distance-wise, sure.
How long have you been? Well, how long have you been? I'm okay.
Okay, about a year or so ago,
Okay, at this
Dad
point,
picked it.
Saya pushes her hair aside. Kind of been tossed up in the fight, everything's been moved away, and you see all of these horrible third-degree burn scars twisting around down the side of her face.
I mean, how have you been?
I thought we were talking about her and your
Oh,
mum.
sure.
Are you okay?
I'm fine.
Do I notice? Can I do an insight
Yeah,
check
of
to
course.
see? Yeah. So I noticed.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna like move my hair back
Okay.
and just like you were saying, Theo.
Well, as you pointed out, it's not exactly normal. So, Dad died.
Mhm.
None of us inherited a mark of all.
Mhm.
And then Thea turns up with a letter and a thing. And, you know, you've met my mum.
Yeah. All right. So, but what brought you here specifically, or are you just running?
No, this is
We're
20.
not running. We're here to take our destiny into our own hands and hopefully go back later when we've got a bit more.
Well, this is a place of destiny. If you're looking for destiny, it's certainly in the right place. Although, you know.
We've taken in a war. It went well.
Oh, so you were around the wall?
Briefly. It was a brief war.
It was a very brief war.
We had hoped to come and bring some poor tidings back to Sir Andrew Wentworth, but I think he's had a few poor tidings of his own.
Andrew
He's
Wentworth?
upstairs.
We heard.
That's this
we
guy right here.
recognize that word,
Wait,
right?
what?
Like the rest of us recognize him say Andrew Wentworth. Right?
Oh yeah, you all hear that.
We go Andrew Wentworth.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I understood that.
Andrew Wentworth. What business do you have with Andrew Wentworth?
Well, you know,
We're here to pass on the news of the death of his son.
Oh, wait.
Pulls out that glorious griffin standard you saw being trampled into the ground on the battlefield.
Did they
I
clean it?
have a momentary flashback.
As much as they
We
could. Yeah.
knew his sons. Well, one of his sons.
I tried to help, but he
For a
was
bit.
too far gone.
And you're here to what exactly?
We were hoping to fill him in on the poor.
Did his
Everyone
son
can make an
say-
insight roll.
Oh, okay, nice.
Oh, 20.
No, except for Peral.
Oh, really?
Nat 20.
20,
Insight,
20.
even me?
Ah.
Even me? No.
17.
No, you don't need to make
No,
an
I
insight
don't.
roll.
I know exactly what
Okay,
it looks like.
everyone, what did you roll? Sorry, make
23.
a deception. Deception.
Oh, deception.
Yeah.
Oh, well, then that makes it a 20.
Did anyone beat 20?
24.
Ooh.
You suspicious little bastard.
Also 24.
Okay, well, you two,
Diabolical
like,
mushroom.
he's like, we're here to, eyes dart up to the left, to deliver, this, back to his grieving father, you know, out of the goodness of our hearts. There's something sus about their reasoning for being here. It could be dodgy, could be self-serving, could be serving another agency, not sure.
I'm going to start
Well, you're in
picking out my
luck.
daggers and wiping them off. And
Yeah.
Finally, something
I don't
went
understand
well.
half of this.
The bearer of Sir Andel's seal is right here and will
Oh!
gladly take your banner.
Did his sons mention anything about Ivan or Straken? Or the
Straken?
Straken?
Straken rings a bell.
Better bring up your notes.
Oh, yes. Lots of skullduggery.
Yeah, Straken was,
While the war is formidable, there is a much more urgent mission we are on. What do you know of Straken?
so we know
That
that
he
he's...
was trying to prevent people.
He was working against the lords and riling up the common people and providing support from going to the war, leading to the sons going off more or less on their own and getting slaughtered,
I see. Interesting.
from what I recall.
Well, Saya, you done with these folk?
What do you mean done with?
Well, I mean,
Kill
we have
them now?
things to do here.
Okay, fair. No, we're not killing anyone. Thank
Okay, that's
you.
good, that's good.
No, but we can accept their banner graciously.
Oh, given in all grace to
Thank
the
you.
holder of this once fine estate.
And
I
I
don't
was
see-
very impressed with, your work here. It was
Oh,
spectacular.
I really like your brains. Can
He
you
did
teach
them.
me?
Thanks.
Can you teach me? I'm getting
it's,
there.
It's more art than science.
Alright, I know you love
know.
your braids, and once again I would like to point out that it's maybe not appropriate for you to be doing those braids, but either way,
Why can't you do the braids?
Why can't you
it's
do
a very
the braids?
elvish thing.
Oh.
Alright,
Apparently feel like cultural appropriation.
why don't we get out of the creepy rundown house?
Just
I don't think there's anything
Before
for
we
us
do, I
left.
wanna skim these things. I'm just gonna
What are
pick
our
up and
options
just
of
start.
burning this place down?
It's
right
an
now?
icky mess.
I have prestidigitation. I fear no mess.
Okay, it's true. You do feel
Friend,
mess.
friend, I say this with all love. Take the jacket off, like the mink. This is totally unnecessary. Just like there's a hook right there. Just hang it up.
Will you? So I've got like this beautiful.
Gore spattered mink.
So we're rather in a
Otherwise,
hurry.
that's a sartorial crime.
Where are you
It's
going?
like, you know,
So where's the town we've come from? I forgot its name.
Elsdale.
Elsdale. We've come from Elsdale. You may have noticed our arrival on that hideous steed.
We thought
We
you were
were
here
a
to kill
bit
us.
distracted with.
Well, I mean,
Everything.
I
frankly.
would have thought the same thing. Very fair. We came from Elsdale, and it was a nightmare, to be honest. There was a disease running rampant in the town that seemed to turn people into something much more monstrous that shared a mind.
Zombies.
And we believe Straken was the architect of this evil plot.
From what we heard
Um,
of Straken, he seems like the kind of person to be up to that sort of mission.
Doubtlessly created the machinations in the background to strip the Wentworth. What were their names? The Wentworth?
The
Wentworth
Wentworths.
boys went unaided with a small regiment.
Now
It
they're
seems as
practically
though
wiped
he's
out.
tried
Oh, they're
to.
definitely totally wiped out.
It seems as though he's tried to create a core, like some power for himself here. It might have all started in Mirabar, but now we believe that he may be heading towards Neverwinter to poison yet more people to this way of thinking.
Well, is Straken was never here for a while, right?
No, but we know that the disease somehow makes them a they. You know that
Yeah.
they somehow join some kind of group. But we
Yeah.
don't really
Like a
understand how it
hive
works.
mind.
I mean,
Almost.
Gus has done a lot of experimentation and has a lot of understanding of the medicinal qualities of the spores that are
well,
kind of doing this.
The spores that I grew up with could hive mind themselves into this beautiful paradise that this world really just rams home how
Started
horrible
without spores.
everyone is. But other than that, I feel it would make sense.
So we-
Buddy's people can link and hive meld through spore infestation.
So we think that there's some kind of spore-like disease that's been spreading through this town, through perhaps the water.
There's a lot of information. Are we cool with these people, so?
Yeah, they're fine.
Science.
But
They just helped us fight.
Can we maybe get out of the house? I think I'm done here.
Just a bit longer.
Anyway, we think that we think that this hive mind entity, we're not sure who's controlling it, although we believe it to be Straken, is headed for Neverwinter, is headed to poison the people there, and are using some kind of trading route that has been using Wentworth seal to kind of authorize it in order to
Trade out of
spread the
Mirabar.
disease. And so we're going there.
What we're supposed to be.
That's exactly the sort of thing we're looking for.
Yeah.
But we're
That's exactly
actually
the sort of thing you're looking for. What kind of people are you?
We are
We're looking to
here
help people.
You're
So
looking
now-
to make a
Up a
name for
little bit of-
yourselves.
Yes, isn't everybody?
Well,
Don't you
apparently-
already have a name?
Well, I don't. Really.
Well, I did. Needs a little bit of a
Refresh?
yeah.
we're not actually here for Straken though.
I don't actually
We're
know
here
why
to
we're here. by
follow.
the way.
We're here to follow Mrs. Stahl.
Stone.
Staln, Isidore, well, I believe Isidore
Isidora Stone was going to the
was going
coast, so she was
to-
going to the west. The
Neverwinter.
No.
Isidora Stone was found by Augustus. So Mrs. Numa was found by Augustus and killed. Isidora Stone was the one who escaped Noriko in her pursuit. Noriko had to come back to resupply for a longer chase, and then left with the monk to try and hunt down Isidora.
we're here for more clues in order to find out exactly how to take our approach when dealing with this trading organization who we believe are helping move this potion that causes this disease throughout.
So we are in fact far from done here.
Yes, there's a lot we need to discover while we are here.
The upper levels.
But we don't have much
might-
time. We don't know how long until
Never
this
with the
infection
falls.
spreads.
Well, I'm actually thinking possibly look down. I mean, last time it was down, right?
It's always down.
Oh,
It's always down.
dear. Yeah, there was a whole hellmouth situation.
Are we following a mercantile sort of trading organization? In which case, paperwork is probably up, if any
Well,
has survived.
Yes,
He makes a
that's a
point.
good point. So we believe that they have been using Wentworth's name to authorize these trading routes to make them seem legitimate.
They were using that signet ring as well.
That's right, the signet ring, and so
Can I
perhaps...
have a quick look at the signet ring?
You look with your eyes.
That's fine.
Sure. I bring it out of my pouch and show
Yeah,
it.
You're not wearing it?
No.
it's easy.
Give me a perception roll, Pearl.
You new dice.
14.
Okay, so as a spear sort of clinks around, sort of opens a pouch, reaches in, you clink, clink. You hear the heavy rattling of large amounts of
That
gold
sounds
coins
like
in
some
a
dense, soft metal
large
hitting each other.
sack hanging off her, large pouch, small sack hanging off her belt. You sort of look around and you see that these people are all seem to be weighed down with
Rolling.
extra baggage.
They're so weighed down. We could help.
That's too.
Yes, here's the ring. That's
Oh, yeah,
used
that's-
as a
that's-
seal.
Easy. That
Put
could
it
be
back
copied.
away. So, what next? We need to search premises before we move on, but we need to
The
make
ring
haste.
can be copied, but the sword can't.
Oh, what's the sword? Is it that sword?
Well, yes.
But surely that sword isn't used to, seal trading documents and sign
No.
contracts.
No, but they
No,
were
the
found
si-
together.
Sorry,
so
the ring. They were using the original ring to seal the documents. We found it with those documents.
Ah,
I have only inherited the trappings of a name, not it itself.
Well, are we searching the place or are we getting out of here?
We're searching the place.
well,
Alright, so who is searching where? So you're taking the upstairs?
Yep.
I'm definitely doing the downstairs.
I am not going downstairs.
Well,
Those
downstairs
of
with
us
you.
who have
Alright,
the ability to understand the...
I would like
Paperwork
one
and stuff.
person to make an upstairs investigation roll with advantage, because you're obviously getting help, and one person to make a downstairs investigation roll with advantage.
Your investigation
You should do that.
needed.
+4.
I'll go with you to help.
I
I'm
can
rolling
assist
with
you
advantage.
upstairs.
Is that what's
Yes,
happening?
you're rolling with advantage.
I don't do those.
Where are you? Downstairs or upstairs?
20.
So what we go downstairs?
This is downstairs or upstairs?
Downstairs.
We're downstairs.
20.
oh, downstairs.
We're going upstairs.
Upstairs.
The cellar is downstairs where the wine is.
So downstairs, you
16.
wander down the stairs. You know that there is one creature down there for sure. But as you sort of get further downstairs, you go down the stairs and you start to see just discarded bits of clothing and armor, weapons just here and there, just thrown about. Some seem to have been dropped on the floor, some have been broken, but others seem to have been like half dissolved, half like chewed or munched and broken apart, so that like a crab
Messed up.
shell broken open, so that you get the fresh meat inside. Or coughed up after the fact. Yes.
While we're doing so, I'll actually pop up detect magic.
We're taking some time down here. Because I can cast Unseen Servant as a ritual and just have them organise shit and move rubbish
Yep.
and separate trash from
As you start wandering down the stairs, you realise it's quite a vaulted series, quite a series of vaulted chambers. They're not very well lit at this point, but I'm assuming somebody amongst you has some kind of dark vision. Is that correct? No.
I can create down here.
We can create
Oh,
light.
there's moving bonfires. It's a little dark in this corner.
Alright, so you are a little bit concerned. You're quite strategic about where you put them, I take it.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's only ever one.
Okay, yeah.
So when it disappears to reappear.
Do you put them in the correct places to make sure the whole building doesn't catch fire while these people are searching upstairs with very few escape routes.
I actually have a lantern.
windows.
I'll just use the lantern.
Okay, you just use them.
You can light it off the bonfire.
I will light it off the... You can light it off the bonfire. I pick up a stick, I put it in the bonfire, just for you. Okay.
Eventually you hear sounds of skittering and you start to see smaller carrion crawlers just like hiding in various corners. They sort of skitter and run away from you. And you start to notice that there is a lot of movement in one particular corner where looks like some kind of deep recess or well, perhaps, on the far side of the room. As you approach it, you start to sort of catch slight glimpses of the slithering chitinous plate, sort of like in the corner. Sort of comes up, tries to be a little bit threatening, but it seems to have like a pool of young and a nest there. Strewn around it are probably 20 or 30 bodies, ones that remain to have been eaten. It seems like once there were a vast collection of corpses in this building. From the nature, did you make a successful nature check earlier? From the nature check that you made earlier, you know that carrion crawlers are only attracted to places where there is a large amount of dead meat. They will typically live in a forest, but look to find abandoned corpses, hide in tree hollows. They're not particularly social creatures, but when they have a nest, they can breed, and they can breed like this only in circumstances where there is a large amount of dead bodies to feast on. So they've eaten a bunch and then stored a bunch, and the ones that are stored are down here, and the stench of death comes off them. But again, there's the musty edge to that stench. And you recognize the smell of just spores, the same black spores that come from the other creatures, the infected ones, just floating in the breeze. So the creatures here, for some reason, these carrion crawlers don't seem to have been infected when you started taking the plates, chitinous plates off the one upstairs. You didn't find any tubers in it. For some reason, it's not affecting the insects so much. But regardless of which, there are bodies, and the closer you get, the more aggressive and defensive the surviving adult carrion crawler seems to be posturing. Apart from that, there are about 7 or 8 small ones, about the size of small wolves.
If you give me a moment, let me cast Speak with Animals and see if I can ease it for a short time.
Sure. Also, what we can do is the unseen servant can drag those things out, bodies out of that area without going near them. So if you can calm them, and we can just pull the things of interest out. I like the idea of leaving these things as part of the ecosystem to deal with the hordes of zombie corpses once we fail our mission.
This is true. This is true.
Ultimately,
I'm just here to guide you.
these things will probably just stay here for the winter, and when the corpses are consumed, they'll move on.
Yeah, I'm not looking to clear the nest.
But we are searching.
We are searching.
Okay.
Because while I think that most people are horrific, and I'm slowly becoming less cared about piles of bodies, you know, this would have been troubling last week. I don't care now.
Animal handling or charisma, your choice.
I will take that sweet persuasion roll. That's a 10.
Okay. Still very guarded. Doesn't
You don't have
seem
inspiration?
to.
You have inspiration?
No one gave me inspiration. But if you are helping me persuade, I can roll with advantage.
How are you helping?
Well,
I have
I'm very
animal
persuasive.
handling.
I can be giving him some pointers on how to inspire people.
How to talk to
Mandibles.
how to talk to the carrion
And
crawlers.
make things.
Give me a
like
nature roll. Give me a nature
A
roll.
nature roll. I'm looking for
Compliment the
charisma.
braids.
Yeah,
No idea
do
what
they
that
have any
was.
braids?
What's the nature modifier? Because I can't access
wisdom.
my character sheet.
The wisdom.
Oh well, it's not very helpful then.
Oh no, intelligence actually.
Intelligence. There you go.
Yeah, it's still 10. Sorry.
Cool. Well,
Do advantage for the health action.
what did you get? 12?
11 actually.
Ah.
With intelligence.
You're there. Do you want to try?
Yeah, I was trying to help with the handle animal.
How are you going to help?
Using a handle animal and going, I'll make a check. Calm it down.
Give me a nature roll. The thing is, I'm getting you guys to make nature rolls so that you can understand how to help in the first place. If you don't pass a nature roll, you don't understand how to relate to this creature.
18.
Okay, cool. So, you can give him pointers on how their behavior is, and you can behave in such a way as to make them feel less guarded. So yes, you have advantage.
Never mind.
They are very guarded,
that
and they're
works.
staying in their hole,
You want to
and
be
they're worried.
bigger so they don't see you as food. Not
Look-
too big, they see you as a threat. Smaller, no bigger, no.
The gist of the conversation is,
Stay away from my young murderer! You killed my brothers and sisters! Stay away!
We need to roll
I
pretty
can't
high.
trust you!
We're just
An
gonna.
argument.
Those bodies are gonna slide towards us. We're gonna look at them, and then
My
we're gonna slide
food!
them
Don't
back.
take my food!
Wait.
I will die without my food!
Slide one of these bodies over there. We'll do the old body swapperoo.
Ah.
Give a body, take a body. Give a body, take a body, and we'll just.
Yeah,
Sorry, so
sure.
we're searching its nest for what exactly?
We
Food.
want to take.
Give
We
it.
want to take all of those bodies.
what's the range of your magic awareness?
60 feet.
Cool. So you can tell that there are some faint magical auras going on in that pile.
All right, and there's magic in that pile.
All right, is there
Say no more.
any magic on that dude?
I'm looking at that dude.
Is there
One of the
is
bodies?
Well, are the bodies all piled with them, or is there a scattering of bodies?
Some are deep in. So then it used to be a well. You can see that there are two places where spouts where water used to come into this area, and water still does trickle down. But since then, they've just put a whole bunch of organic matter and nest produce and just decaying vegetable matter and stuff like that that's been laid around inside of this pool. So it's both moist, damp, warm, and wet. It can be sort of a compost pile in which they're laying their eggs. Into this mess has been laid various bodies and parts of bodies on which is armor, pouches, satchels, various things. And a lot of it they've just spat up and left behind. Some
Yeah.
things that
What
they've
I'm trying to
tried-
do is I'm trying to get the unseen servant to take a body that is not glowing with magical energy and drag said body towards the hungry babies.
Yeah, cool.
And once they're happy with that, take. It's like one of those
the
claw
airplane.
games where I'm reaching.
yeah. So make an animal handling roll to deal with this exchange program. Either one of you can make the roll with advantage.
I'm
What's-
on a 4.
You're on with Sue, so you can take it.
20.
All right. So you go about this process of taking, replacing. Some things it's like, no, that is part of my nest. This is valuable. So you start just taking bits and pieces, and eventually you wheedle out 3 items. There is a pouch, and it has a dagger and a gem and a bottle in it. And of those things, 2 of them seem to be magical. Then there is a staff and a wand, both of which seem magical.
And I'm operating on the assumption that any dude that's carrying magical items.
Apart from that, you also managed to fleece 50 gold pieces out of the various pouches in gems and gold. So let's just say 30 gold in gems and 20 gold in gold.
Rinse it off.
Wash, rinse, repeat.
Who's taking a record? You're inventorying the
30 gold. And how much?
30 gold.
30 gold in
gems.
gems and 20 gold in gold. In coin. Assorted gold, silver. After spending a little bit of time down here, you realize that the body is a mix. The bodies are a mix. They're a mix of what look to have once been armored troops, and then a whole bunch of peasants, farmers, traders, craftspeople, traders, people who are not from this area. They seem to be like maybe they're local, maybe not, but there also seem to be, between the bodies that are still there and the bodies and the bits and pieces of clothing and apparel that seem to have been rejected from the consumption process, there are probably the remnants of about 200 people
Wow.
in this basement.
Hellish.
And that makes a lot of sense, because how else would such large scavenger creatures have been attracted to this building in the first place? So, upstairs. Investigation roll, what'd you get?
16. I can fire up a mage hand to just generally help with some paper shuffling and stuff.
Yep. Okay, so you're looking particularly, so you're sifting through documents, looking for garments and bits and pieces. I don't know, you're finding money?
It'll happen.
Yeah, look, you come across various articles of jewelry and gems worth about 600 gold.
Fantastic.
So
Sounds
500
great.
in gems, 300 in gold, or 400 in gems, 200 in gold.
It's more convenient that way.
You find
You know that as a noble.
3 books. One book is a celestial tome.
Oh, oh.
It's a guide to the languages of heaven and of the celestial realms and the infernal realms.
Oh, okay. Excellent.
But that might help with the whole
That
We,
codex
we
thing.
defo need
Some nerds would like that.
We've got
Have
some
good
nerds in
pictures?
our party.
There is a large map
Well,
of the Sword Coast
Okay,
and
that's fire.
the Moonshade Islands,
cool.
and the islands between the Sword Coast and the Moonshade Islands.
I'm pointing out all the towns I've been to.
Ooh, shiny. And there is, in a locked drawer, which would you like to... You find a locked drawer and a locked chest.
Okay, so... Do Thieves' Tools add your dex bonus or anything onto their proficiency?
Yep, so you make a test, plus
Okay.
so it's a dexterity test, you obviously add your dexterity bonus, and you
Yep.
add your proficiency bonus, and if you specialized in Thieves' Tools,
Yeah,
you
so
double your
I'm-
proficiency bonus.
So on one of them I got 11, so I'll have to have another crack at that, probably.
Okay, seems quite complicated.
The other one I got 17.
Okay, so the drawer can't quite get into despite fooling around, and sort of leave that, go over to the chest, pull out thieves. Who are you guys with? Yeah, who's searching the upstairs?
The elf
You
squad.
barely see anything. This guy's
Oh, okay,
a
cool.
pro. This chest wasn't even
give
locked.
me a stealth test.
Oh, it's yeah.
Perception?
Yeah, perception versus stealth, please.
No.
Let me know next time. I'll put verify before they
Yeah,
leave.
21.
10.
Okay. Yeah, no, it's this chest seems
Just a noble
open.
doing noble things.
How strange, they left their chest unlocked.
It certainly was strange. In the chest, you find armor.
All right.
So
This
there's
is looking up.
yeah, armor and garments. Particularly, they all bear insignia of the Ruby Circlet, of the Order of the Ruby Circlet,
Okay.
to which Lord Andal Wentworth belonged.
Does it look reminiscent of that
Sword.
badass sword?
Absolutely. In fact,
Okay.
the symbol of the sword with the
Nice.
part of it.
Okay. Good.
Well, that person downstairs.
Pile
Is
that
it-
out.
Armor
is it
didn't look great. Maybe she
plate?
liked this stuff.
It is full plate armor. It is a suit of really nice full plate armor,
Sounds like
Look that.
which is emblazoned, and a tabard with gold trimming on it. It looks like totally legit. It's almost quite ceremonial. It's practical, but also ceremonial.
Stylish yet understated, yet overstated at the same
Mhm.
time.
Yet incredibly
Fancy.
human style.
Exactly. Which is disappointing.
Rather disappointing.
But the workmanship's never meant to last anyway. 150 years tops.
If you're lucky. Jeez.
You also find that there are on the walls there are tapestries. They're all woven silk from the Far East.
All right.
They're probably worth a couple hundred each.
They're certainly not worth leaving here to the carrion crawlers.
No, they'll just tear them up. They don't seem to have gotten into this room. This
Don't
room was
appreciate them.
this door was quite
Yep.
heavy, and they weren't able to push through it.
Give me a hand here. Got it. Preserve these.
How
works
big
of
are
art.
these?
Only so
Oh,
much I
you
can
know, they're about
hold.
this
Yeah,
wide
we're
and 3
everything
meters
Gus
tall.
can carry.
Sorry, and how are we taking this with us?
That's a future problem.
If
Let's
I can,
just sort it out.
We
if
have
I
some
can
boxes,
lift it,
but-
as long as I can get it
Think
off
like
the
an noble.
ground, I can take it with it.
It's like,
Take that gold coin up.
Need a bag of carrots.
This dude needs a bag of holding more than any other character I've seen.
I want the tapestries.
And while she's rolling up the tapestries, I'm going to have another go at that
So
desk.
who's rolling up
Alright.
the tapestries for you? Me, apparently.
Whoa.
You're like,
Vision
why are we
of
doing this?
loveliness.
Okay.
I'm rolling up a tapestry.
No,
so I'm gonna
nobles
be
do
helpful.
I can see why she
Oh,
left for
mate.
the convent. It's all
God.
becoming clear now.
no.
I might need a
Just want to hang
sledgehammer.
out with the nerds.
Okay. Do you want to point out the locked drawer?
Yeah, this one's locked. Look, I can't find a key or anything. There's no way of getting this open. Can somebody, jimmy this with a crowbar or something?
God, if only I were there.
Oh, wait, hang on. It's alright, got one.
Oh, alright.
Give me a strength roll.
Oh, this is going to be worse. Or not. 18.
Yeah.
Crack!
Yeah, there we go. Man, why did he lock this and not the chest?
Puts the crowbar. So Saria, you do notice you're like rolling up the tapestry, and he goes, "Oh, good thing I have that crowbar." Throws his cape aside and slips the crowbar in a black leather custom-made sheath, along with a set of other tools he has like just hidden on his belt on the backside.
Alright.
And it's clearly a crowbar scabbard.
It is clearly a crowbar scabbard
Never held a
for this
sword in
exact
his life.
purpose.
But it's a noble crowbar.
Yeah,
Very, very fancy crowbar scabbard.
nothing's.
You know what? It needs
buggery
the
about
like
this.
the hilts to kind of look like a sword, just fancy. And then it detaches.
So
Not
in
velvet.
this drawer, there are several letters,
All right,
and
here's the good
This is
stuff.
what we're after, yeah.
so there's several letters and
Plot.
2 scrolls. Among the scrolls, so you open this one of the scrolls. It's just gibberish, some kind of language you don't recognize.
What
It's
language?
A magical language.
Oh.
Is that Elvish?
No. This is I've seen these around the place. This is probably a magical scroll. Mum would just leave them everywhere.
Yeah, she really would. You're not sure what's on it, but whatever. You got it. And then the other scroll you look at is written in common. And it particularly pertains to... It's a genealogy scroll. A writ of genealogy stating that the bearer of this scroll is Sir Andal Wentworth, Lord of these lands, custodian of these lands. Here is the seal of the Lord's Alliance, Heads of Waterdeep, signing off on the official acknowledgement of the bearer of this scroll being Lord Andal Wentworth and
The
being in
bearer
charge.
being...
This seems a little bit
Convenient.
imprecise. But who am I to question?
This
Human
is
lands?
Lord Andal Wentworth's bedroom that you're currently in. Or
Yeah, yeah,
his
but-
study. And
So-
I hold. I'm going to look if I'm Lord Andal Wentworth. Thank you, everyone.
To be fair, this is literally how deeds work. It's like,
So,
but it's my house now.
This is the title of Lord,
Hmm.
and it is awarded to Lord Andal Wentworth. And then, as a default, it defaults to then his next of kin,
Mentally checking them off.
of which are listed
Nope.
2, which
Nope.
is
Oh, that's a shame.
the 2 surviving. He only had 2 sons. Actually, that's 2 sons and 1 daughter. And the daughter died here, you think, or maybe escaped. You're not sure.
Look.
Or maybe she's down in the cellar.
yes, I feel like
Without even realizing
The
Good thing that he
daughter's
had a daughter,
current
because
age
otherwise I could not imitate.
they don't list the ages on this scroll.
Okay.
So we got
But they do list the birthdates. They do list the ages.
Oh, okay. Good. Good.
So the daughter, the 2 sons, their ages are accurate.
Yep.
The daughter would be 13, according to this
Okay,
scroll.
so
Little
calculating
younger
that
than I
into
am.
elf years, this kid's totally dead.
Quite possibly.
It's like reverse dog years.
Wily.
Okay.
Slippery. No, I'm betting on digested.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fair bet.
And that's pretty much it for that. So what I'm going to do, so you look. That's all that you find upstairs.
Can our 2 groups join?
Yep.
Well,
Okay, let's join up.
we do need to just
I'm-
venture.
Just before we
Absolutely.
leave,
Is this plate armor better than my plate armor?
It looks.
This is full plate armor.
Yeah, I would like that.
It would
It's
match
nicer
your sword.
plate armor.
Cool. And it would
It
match
would
my
look-
sword and the
Yeah, you look really good.
I'm more into silver
And
and
look,
gold,
if
but I
you
guess here
if
we
you
are.
take this
And can I
deed
take
as well,
the paperwork? Can I collectively have all that paperwork?
Yeah, or it's up to you
I
guys.
think the
Well, I'm asking for it.
I have no claim over this, and frankly, this thing's
We got some good
useless to
stuff
me.
the
downstairs
language
as well.
stuff will be really good for the
Some
codex
magic.
we have.
Gus is, before he leaves, is actually going to spend some time at the bottom of the stairs, at the cellar, just really drinking in what 200 odd semi-decomposed, half-eaten piles of mangled dead humans look like. Just really let it just settle.
Yeah, you sit there. Everyone else goes upstairs, and you just
They're like,
sit at the
well,
bottom of the
I'll
stairs.
get
Like,
like a few steps up and then come back for him eventually.
I'm going to say that
He zones out.
any conversations that you have with natural scavengers in the future can be conducted with
These
advantage.
people seem nice.
As you really get into the
This is the way we
psychology of
make
this
our mark?
nest.
I think so. Certainly our
So
first one.
everything dies, right?
Everything dies. Right?
Everything dies. Life is truly worthless because
I
it is a perfect circle.
I
Yeah,
come
these
down to
people
Death
you, pull
is
you on the
worthwhile
sleeve.
with life.
That's
Hey,
right.
hey, buddy, you
We're
need a
all
minute?
I used to
self-contributing.
look at you like, everything's got to die to live, man.
Now, hey, this guy gets it. Come on, let's go upstairs and have a drink.
No, we're going outside to have a drink.
And
I don't want to stay in here
so
anymore.
I-
as I get
And then
up,
as we,
I
and you gotta
literally,
live to
I literally just
die.
throw the child's arm that I was like, just like had like mindlessly was playing with. I just like throw the kid's arm back into the cellar,
Hey, they're
turn around and
about
walk up
13.
the stairs.
So I think we're like gonna get around a fireplace. We're gonna compare our loot. We're gonna compare our stories.
Mm.
While you teach me how to braid.
Yes, I'll teach you how to braid, and I will pretend that he has nothing.
Excellent.
Then you'll
You
pretend
make
like you
a
know what you're
deception
doing,
roll.
and I'll think that you know exactly what you're doing.
10.
Are you seriously braiding your hair before
It's
the
an
10
inside
minutes
roll.
to put
Oh,
that
great.
armor on?
Yeah. So this is the scene. This is you walk downstairs, and this is the scene that you walk in on. Someone like she said, "I know
I'm
how
in
to
like
do
full
this."
plate armor. She's just I'm like, it looks beautiful. You know exactly what you're doing.
Yeah, I
My
love
people.
the blonde. It's so lovely.
Thank you.
I say in very simple Elvish, look, you're almost getting it right.
Aww, and I mostly understood that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you
good.
come together. You have your things. There is a book, and you look through the language of the book, and it is in fact the same language. So it is Infernal,
Yeah.
which is the same language that the book is written in.
Yeah.
It does not, however, reveal the cipher.
Damn devils.
Are you guys going to take a long rest here before moving on to the next
Yeah.
level?
Absolutely. Maybe
Upstairs.
upstairs.
Okay.
I'm just gonna pop back and say, like, just letting you know, we're gonna be upstairs. They're all very alive and very dangerous, but we're not gonna touch your food. So, you guys get the bottom floors. We'll take upstairs and we'll be gone tomorrow.
And you take the evening to review the magical items that you found, to analyze them. Do you have the ability to...
Identify. Let me have a look. No, my spell
It's more of a
list
try and
is
see.
actually meager on account of starting at level 1 and not getting.
Then I will say
So
that there are two more things that you find as you retire to the upstairs room. One is a half chewed on spell book, the contents of which I will give to you next game.
Cool.
And the second is a letter penned in the hand of Lord Andal Wentworth. It is kicked around on the ground, half eaten, half torn, but the end of it says, "Thank you, Mr. Avarice, for your generous offers of business. Unfortunately, I find your trading practices untoward and your prices outrageous. I wish nothing to do with you or your company. Do not further darken my door or enter into any trading activities in my realm. Signed, Sir Andal Wentworth." The seal, and we will end the game there.
As the plot thickens, our heroes look for clues as to Straken's current locale. With new allies and the aid of infernal forces at the command of Bernard Witchkicked, will the 3rd Daggerford irregulars achieve their goals, or simply drag themselves deeper into a quagmire of devilish corruption? Find out next time in the second thrilling episode of The Siege of Mirabar. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell button to stay abreast of all future releases from Tabletop Dynasties.